Welcome, everyone, to session 4 of Dungeon Nytes. I am Knight, your DM, and the last we had our party together, we did some awful neat things. We decided to take care of the red brand problem in town, and that led to us getting into a fight at the edge of town, talking to the town master, talking to our friend Sildar, who let us know that his friend had gone missing around said manor, aka the hub of the red brands in Phandalin. We then found a secret entrance into Tressendor Manor, went down in there, encountered a creature called a Nothic, bargained with it for food, killed a bunch of bugbears, then killed a bunch of red brands, and then two-shotted the Nothic itself because, hey, it had loot we wanted. We also befriended a little goblin who was being bullied, and that's not even think it's fair to say bullied. He was enslaved and basically being abused by the bugbears and the red brands in this place, and you have, for lack of a better term, adopted him at this point, or have decided to adopt him at this point, which I think is super cute. It's very cute of you guys. Godric gave him an apple. Master has given Dobby clothes. Is basically what it was. And now we have looted said Nothic's chest. We're standing back in the middle, basically where we came into Tressendor Manor through a secret entrance underneath the manor. It is a cave-like structure that is dimly lit, but you all have dark vision, so that doesn't matter. In the middle of the room is a crevice. It's about 20 feet deep. There are a couple dead red brands down there now. You just dragged a chest of treasure out from there and emptied the contents from inside. You found a number of items, not to mention a +1 longsword that you then so graciously gave to your now hexblade sorcerer. And the rest of the items were sitting there, and you guys were trying to decide where to go next. You were talking to Droop, who had given you basically the entire layout of the dungeon at this point. You have all of the secrets, you know all of its traps, and really it's up to you to figure out how you want to proceed making your way through this dungeon. But before that happens, Ashin, as you guys were looking through the various items, and now we've discovered this +1 longsword, you decided to take one more look through all of the items just to make sure that we didn't miss anything important, because, man, if there's a +1 longsword in there amongst a number of other items, maybe there's something else in there as well. And one thing catches your eye. It's this little... It's a coin, but it's really more, I don't know, the size of I don't know, a good inch or two across. It's almost like a medallion. And on the medallion, you see this teardrop symbol with a broken arrow over it. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Tell me
Um,
about that.
so Ashin's gonna, I recognize that as being a symbol of Cheverash, the elven god of vengeance.
Very interesting that you would find that amongst a number of items in this town. That being said, the history of Phandalin is one where there is extensive presence of elves and humans and gnomes and dwarves, so it's not unlikely that you might find something in this area of the manor, given that it's very old and has seen many battles. When you pick up this medallion and you turn it over, you see that it's a very unremarkable coin. However, it immediately feels hot in the palm of your hand and sinks into your palm. And it starts to burn. But it's not a pain that you can feel in your hand. It's a pain that moves up your arm, and you just feel heat moving throughout your body. And inside, you hear, "Vengeance, take your vengeance. And as the heat subsides and the coin is gone, you now see the mark of the teardrop and the broken arrow carved into your wrist, almost like a scar that's been there for ages and ages and ages.
Mm. Um, I'm gonna kind of like look at it and maybe scratch at it for a second, and then pull my like the sleeve of my overshirt down over it,
Very
and
interesting.
I'm gonna walk um kind of away from the party just to kind of clear my head for a moment and think, and I'm gonna go walk over to that bridge and stand on it
Okay.
and just kind of survey the general area and look and see if I see um anything else of note.
As you scan around, your eyes fall upon the path leading to now what you know is a secret entrance towards the front of the proper manor. You see down below the bodies of those that you have slain, and you look down towards the other side of the crevice, which you can see has another small bridge and a crevice, a couple other pathways, and then an area that seems like it's meant for more supplies and things, which Droop has described to you as a storeroom and a work area. But nothing else catches your eye.
Okay. I want to like I'll look at the party and kind of and motion towards the path that leads to the front of the manor.
Okay.
And then make my way to where that secret door is. Like I want to go down that hallway.
Okay.
Is that door
Ramirez,
locked? That door's locked, right?
No, you have a key that opens
I
all
have the key.
doors.
That's what I'm saying. Like the door's locked though.
No.
So I'll use the key to unlock
Oh,
the door or whatever to
yes,
open it.
the doors are now all the doors are basically unlocked to you at this point. And
Okay.
the secret doors aren't in fact locked. The secret doors are just have hidden hinges that allow them to swing freely, but you would almost miss them if you didn't know that they were there. Is the rest of
Okay.
the party going to follow, or are you just letting Ashin go off on his own at this point?
Pamir is going to, when he sees Lashin starting to walk over towards that path, he'll actually send him a message, like use the message spell to telepathically go, "Did you hear something, or should we prepare for a fight?"
Um, I'll respond to his message just saying I'd like to try to go this way and see what's up here and maybe clear this area before we move any further.
Leif, just before even waiting for Amir's reply, just kind of shrugs and sees Ashin walk off and slowly jogs after him.
I follow pretty close behind him. I'm right
Yep.
there with him.
Well, I'll go.
So as you move through the secret door, you move up into the area that is normally the front of the manor. You can see that this is kind of a cellar. It's pretty unremarkable, other than the fact that it has like a 5-foot wide landing, 15 feet above this large cellar, with stone steps that kind of ascend to the various entrances of various places. So it really just kind of comes down from the outside very quickly. There's a large stone cistern that occupies, the western side of the room, with another door that Droop has described to you as a barracks.
Cat. So I want to move into the room and like I see there's like that pool of water right there, right?
Yes.
The sister.
Yeah. Can I get a drink of water from it?
You can.
Okay.
Didn't Droop mention that they pulled something out of that?
Yeah, he mentioned something about a rope. They touched a rope, and there's something there.
Can I check to see if there's a rope laying around?
As you examine the cistern further, you do see that there's actually a rope that appears like it's tied to the easternmost side of the cistern and kind of is on a pulley that goes up to the top of the ceiling and lowers itself down into the cistern. It almost looks like it would be there for you to, raise a bucket and get some water.
Can I pull it?
Sure. I'll kind of like motion to him and say,
You don't have to ask
let's get some
me.
water. Let's
Pull
get
it.
some water. Let's get some water. Go to work. I'm
yank
thirsty.
That thing.
So as you yank on this rope, you can see that as you pull the rope, a kind of wrapped package emerges from the water just long enough for you to see before the pulley on the ceiling frees itself and comes crashing into the water, getting water all over you. You pulled a little too hard.
Good job.
A little too hard. All right. Could I start rummaging around the water, hoping to find that package?
As you
Well, you still have the rope in your hands, don't you?
I still have the
pull on the rope,
Keep pulling it.
you're able to recover the package.
Big, not smart.
Leif curiously looks around Godork's shoulder as he gets the package, wondering what it is.
What does this package look like? Does it look fragile?
It looks like
I mean-
a waterproof package that is contained. It's wrapped. It feels rather waxy on the outside, almost like it's some kind of a hide that's been treated to ensure that the contents do not get wet inside.
We should keep that.
Well, we should maybe
Should
see what's
open
inside it.
Yeah, let's see what's
I
inside
have
it.
that dagger. Can I cut it open?
Does it need to be cut open?
Probably
Just
Does it need to be
unwrap
cut,
it?
or-
Open it.
I heard waxy.
It's probably
So I
an
assume
opening.
it's encased in something.
As
Let's-
you
let's
open
Maintain
the
that.
package,
Maintain that.
as you open the package, you find inside a potion of healing, a potion of invisibility, 50
Oh.
gold pieces, and they are all wrapped inside of a clean set of ordinary travel clothing.
Leif's eyes immediately light up at the potion of invincibility and just kind of say softly, "That's something that's quite rare."
I don't know jack about potions, so I give it to him, not
I-
knowing what it is, honestly.
You said potion of healing, a potion of invisibility, and what else?
50 gold.
gold pieces.
Gold.
So we'll give the gold to Bamir so that he can divvy it after we're done. Like after
Yeah.
we're all back in one place. Can I take the potion of healing? Because I don't think I have one right now.
Yes. And then the clothes are probably not my size, so whoever wants those as well. I don't
They-
I
keep
already
it.
have. I
They
already
are
have
for a-
traveling clothes.
They are for a traveling clothes for a normal sized human.
Okay, so
Does everybody's got traveling clothes, right?
Huh.
sure.
Something like that.
Pretty
Does
much
anybody
sure.
want them, or do we want to like
I just have common clothes. I guess I'll take them.
Droop? You want a new shirt?
They're a little big for.
Wait, where is Droop? Can I? Does anybody see Droop?
Droop is with me still, correct? I thought I was still carrying him because he's small. and inert.
You had made quips about talking to Droop. In reality, you guys had left Droop in the room and told him to wait for you while you cleared the rest of the dungeon.
Okay,
that's
so
true.
he's waiting then. Cool.
So Droop is
Um,
waiting in that barracks.
So I want to make my way around the cistern and go into like that, like towards that barracks room or whatever, the one that's
Well, you should probably get ready because there could be some in there.
So I'm gonna ready my bow and just get close to the door and listen and see if I can
So-
hear anything on the other side of the door.
As you approach the door and you listen, you put your ear right up to the door, and as you do, the door opens, and you see two red brands, and one was kind of passively open the door, is like, "What the hell was that noise? Oh, who the hell are you?" And we roll for initiative.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try out the dice
21.
roller.
13.
Hey, me
Okay.
too. 13.
14.
So Ashin, lay for 13. Godoruk, what'd you get?
21.
Oh, look at you. Asteria,
15.
Bamir,
14.
14. Okay.
Slackers.
All right. Do you want to try and talk to them? Or do you want to just go to Rick? It's up to you. You're first.
Well, we know what Godoruk is.
We are all still wearing the red brand cloaks, so
You are wearing the red brand cloaks, correct?
And we're all
well,
Ashin's in front.
except for our big green dog.
Yeah.
Except for the green dire wolf, yes.
Yeah, no, the jig is up. Let's fuck him up.
Yeah, I'm going in swinging. Screw it. Yeah, whichever one's closest to me, I guess the one in the doorway that was opening the door, I take a swing at him with my maul. That is 13 for hit.
So you move. So you swing at the one right at the door, and you said you rolled 13 to hit?
Yes,
You miss.
I miss. Hurtful.
You move up to the doorway, hoping to catch them by surprise, and as the guy looks at you, you swing your maul, and he quickly steps out of the way and draws his sword. His sword. He draws his sword.
It's short.
Mysteria,
Like
you're up
shorthand
next.
for short sword. Short.
That doorway is really small.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Don't think she's gonna fit in there. So she's going to hold her action in case any of the red brands make it past Godoruk.
Okay. And Ashin is standing right there too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up is Bamir.
Bamir will, he'll point at the guy that, just got, swiped at by, Godoruk and say, "You traitorous, mammering, beetle-headed clotpole! Get out of here! Get out here and take it like a man."
Okay.
They'll require a wisdom saving throw.
12.
That is not a 13, so he will take 3 whole points of damage and suffer disadvantage on his next attack for his inadequacy.
It's perfect. All right. And then Leif, you're up.
Does Godoruk stand with a somewhat wide stance?
He's a normal sized being.
I meant, does he stand with like a wide stance when he swings his maul?
He does, yes.
Okay, would be enough to go between his legs.
You're able to move in as players. You can move through the same spaces.
Oh, okay, lovely.
You can't
Fighting
move
under
through
my legs would
enemy
be really cool,
spaces.
though.
You can't move through enemy spaces. You can move through player
So
spaces.
you would have a hard time getting through the door because right
There's a guy
now
right there.
Godoruk and Ashin are both standing right in it. And
But
so
from
they're
what
kind
you
of
can
on top of
see,
each other.
there is a guy standing right at the door and a guy right behind him.
Yeah.
Okay. I just kind of peer in and clearly probably going to have a hard time with this and also hold my action standing next to Asteria.
Okay. And Ashin, you're up.
I would like to back up like maybe 15 feet
Okay.
to create some space.
Fair enough.
And then I want to use my bonus action to cast, to move my hunter's mark onto the guy
Okay.
that I can see.
Mhm.
If you, since you're right up next to the door, you probably need to either
Ooh,
take the
you would need
disadvantage,
to disengage, yes.
or
Okay.
suffer an attack of
Yes.
opportunity.
100%.
I'll take the attack of opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Well then.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Big Man on campus now.
It's not a competition, man. See, we take the
I'm
first
a
hit.
ranger with decent AC and won't get hit.
I haven't had to mess with it yet, so this is new for me.
It's just a normal attack roll.
It's just a normal
it's just
attack
an
roll?
attack
Okay.
roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
10.
There are some things that
You do not hit, sir.
All right. As he tries to stab at you as you back up, you are light on your feet and you're able to move back and exit his area of attack, leaving Godoruk in front of the door with 2 red brands inside.
And then I'm assuming that the guy that took the attack of opportunity, that's the one that I want to mark.
Yep.
So once I'm clear of that space, I'm going to pull up my bow and I'm going to shoot at him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you saved your action by not taking disengage. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll to hit.
16.
16 will hit.
Uh, 11.
As you pull back your bow and eye up this man with Hunter's Mark, you peer over Goldoruk's shoulder and just lift the bow slightly, and as you loose the arrow, you catch him right in the throat, and he is no more. One down, and the red brands are next. So seeing their compatriot go down, the one red brand you can see is going to take the ability to rush Godoruk and make an attack. And he misses with both of his melee attacks. And basically, in his fervor, swings wide and then tries to cut across. And Godoruk, you are light on your feet right now and are able to just dodge these slashes. Then a third red brand, which you didn't see, comes around a corner and stacks up behind his friend and does not take an action because he cannot get out of the room. And back to you, Godoruk.
I should have asked you this last night. I want to try to grapple
Okay.
the one that just tried to hit me.
Okay.
Since he's also probably the same size as me.
Okay.
Let's see. So I need to do an athletics check, and that is a 19. So
Yes, you will successfully grapple this character. So his speed is now reduced to 0, and he cannot benefit from any bonus to his speed.
can I pull him slightly out of the doorway, out of the way, so the third one is in view of everyone as well?
Well, the third one's in view of everybody because he's stacked up behind the first one.
Ah.
So you're basically locked on this first one, and he is unable
How
to
deep is the
move.
water in the cistern?
Ooh.
A couple feet. Nothing
Oh.
nothing crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, and that'll be my action. Just grabbing that one.
I think you could still.
No, it takes place.
Is that an action?
Okay, so
Yeah.
you can actually still move.
Yeah.
You can still
you
move.
Can move.
You can only move 15 feet from where you grappled him. So you're going to
Yeah,
pull
you're
him in towards the
Yeah, I
rest of
want
the
to pull
party.
him in. Yeah. hmm
All right, so you pull him back 15 feet, basically to right where the back of the cistern is. Or the start, the furthest point of the cistern from the door, leaving the last red brand exposed a bit in the doorway.
All right. That is my action.
Okay.
Who's next?
I just want to read one thing real quick on the
Grapple thing.
yes.
It takes an action. So,
Yeah.
like if
either
No,
you
no,
athletics
I'm-
checks
I
or
wanna make sure
acrobatics
that-
check.
There's things where they can still attack if you're grappled.
yeah, you just have disadvantage.
Correct.
Yep,
Yep.
and Goderic would get advantage against the enemy that he grappled. I think is how that works, right?
No, that's not
No?
what it's saying. Mm-mm. It just says that there has to be a. You can shove the creature, or no. They must succeed a strength check to exit the grapple. But other
Yeah, they
than
can
that,
do
no.
Athletics or dexterity, acrobatics.
Yep.
To escape. Contested
Okay.
by.
But they can
My
still
strength.
attack with a disadvantage. You are grappling. It is your action.
Yes.
So you can
Yes.
either continue to grapple or you can let go.
Oh, actually, it doesn't say that. Disadvantage. Just
Yeah, they're
their
just-
speed.
Just their speed is done. Okay. But Hysteria, you are up.
Would she be able to attack that red brand, even though he's grappled with Goderic?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, that's what she's gonna do.
Okay.
She's going to bite him.
You rolled a hit.
This poor guy.
I was hoping we'd use them as a pincushion with Ashin.
You're too
That
close
is
to me.
A 25 to hit.
Oh, that certainly hits.
10, 11 damage, and he has to make his strength saving throw. Because
Well,
she
he's-
bit him.
Grappled right now.
Yeah, I know. Either way, he has to make a strength.
Well,
Well,
he,
She knocks him prone though when she
Yeah.
bites him.
Whenever she bites a creature.
how do I want to administer this?
I guess
Or
that
just
would
make a
force me
strength
to
saving
let it
throw,
go.
not have him torn from his hands.
So I'm gonna say this. As long as you're okay with this, Goderic, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say, Hysteria, as you come over, and again, you kind of jump over the edge of the cistern and bite over his shoulder. And as your body kind of twists midair, you pull him to the ground, and he is now prone.
100% okay with that. I
There you
will
go.
gladly let him go for a dire wolf.
So he's no longer grappled, but he is prone and subject to all manner of things. All right. And next up is Bamir.
Sorry, just got a cough. Okay, seeing this, Bamir's probably like that's all happening probably right in front of Bamir.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to use his interact with object to draw his sword and stab at the dude in front of him.
The dude that's prone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll roll with advantage, I believe.
Yes, because he's prone.
How do I? Let's see. Roll that. So he got a 19 to hit,
That'll hit.
and he will do 8 damage piercing.
As you see Asteria make this jump and pull this red band prone, You see it as your opportunity to finish him off, and you run up and drive your sword through his chest, and you hear him, and he is dead. And it is now Leif's turn.
I'm able to move to the doorway, though.
Oh, yeah.
So Leif holds up his shield, goes to the doorway right where the red brand is in there, and stabs with his long sword at it through the chest.
Okay. Roll to hit.
25.
That'll certainly hit.
And damage. I'm doing 1d8 because I have my sword up. 7.
As you stab for the chest, your sword kind of goes off to the side and cuts deep into his side, causing blood to start pouring from that spot. And it is now up to Ashin.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to move my hunter's mark from the guy that's dead to the guy that's still alive.
Okay.
And I'm gonna shoot at him.
Okay. Roll to
Tough
hit.
call.
More arrows.
Oh,
Natural
I forgot
1.
about my punch.
I'm in a bad spot.
As you pull up your bow this time, you don't feel like you can get quite as good an aim as you want to because Asteria's in front of you, Leif's in front of you, and you kind of let loose the arrow and it flies sailing over the head and shoulder of the red brand.
Oh, cool. I didn't get hit by a natural 1. Lovely.
I don't subscribe to the critical fail rule.
Yes. we're
In-
not there.
And now it is the red brand's turn. So he has a Leif standing in front of him. Jeez. And he
Yeah.
misses. These guys must be brand new recruits that have not been trained. And seeing his friends die in a dire wolf, he is afraid and he frantically just takes 2 quick swings at you, and you're able to use your shield to glance off those blows. And we are back to Godor.
I am going to go and attack him. Move past Leif and attack him with my maul. That is 17.
That'll certainly hit.
2d6. Oh god, he's dead.
All right.
11 damage.
As you run up to this last poor red brand soul, you gently move Leif out of the way and then reassume your hand and with an uppercut catch him on the chin, knocking him back prone and dead.
Poor guy.
And you
Sucks
have
to suck.
successfully survived the encounter.
Did no one get hurt?
No.
Nice. Godoruk would like to search them for things. What do they have on them? Weapons, anything useful?
Yeah, I would say we should probably collect up their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
As you collect, they each have short swords, so you can collect 3 short swords. All 3 red barons are wearing belt pouches holding treasure. The first has 16 silver pieces and 7 gold pieces. The second has 12 silver pieces and 5 gold pieces. And the third has 15, what is it? The Illyrian, how do you say that?
Eternium?
Eternium pieces and 2 garnets worth 10 gold pieces each.
You get all that.
So we'll just
Bard?
Nope, I got none of that because
He was not.
I
paying
was not
attention.
ready. Sorry.
That's
Electrum,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine.
It's
The
Electrum.
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 Yeah.
Sorry.
Additionally, you see that there's 3 more red cloaks that are hanging on their bunks.
Leif make sure that we have another red brand cloak for everybody, since we're still missing one.
And at this time,
Sorry.
I'm going to say that we have elapsed our hour for the Hunter's Mark and for Asteria's wild shape. So Asteria, you're going to feel the shimmer once again from your wolf form, and it's going to lift you and kind of just hover you in the air slowly as your limbs come back to size and you kind of land on your feet, you again.
Leif is already excited when he sees Asteria. And Asteria, can we talk about when you learned that? Because that's awesome. And I'm a changeling, and I think that's awesome.
It's kind of a long story. It's fairly new.
Fair enough. Well, I like it.
I look at Asteria and I say, that's pretty awesome. I want to make my way after we've kind of sorted through all the stuff there, up
Can
to
we
where
get
that other.
Sorry, can we get that loot again?
Yeah, the loot.
Oh yeah.
The loot is 16 silver pieces and 7 gold pieces from the first guy, 12 silver pieces and 5 gold pieces from the second guy, and 15 eternium pieces and 2 garnets worth 10 gold each.
What are these guys wearing for armor?
Studded leather armor.
I would like to take a set of that.
Feel free.
How much studded leather was there?
Each red brand is outfitted with studded leather armor.
Would Asteria be able to take a set as well?
You would. You find one of the recruits that's a bit smaller to your shape, and you assume their armor.
Okay.
And also can give yourselves 60 XP apiece for surviving the encounter.
Cool. So I'm gonna take my old leather armor off, and I'm gonna like put it in my pack, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
put that studded leather armor on.
Okay.
I'm kind of, as I'm putting it on, I'm kind of gonna look at it and kind of see where I can make fittings to it later and make some adjustments that I know I'm gonna want to make. I'm gonna dig at my wrist a little bit more because it's kind of itchy.
Mm.
And then I'm gonna walk up towards that secret path up at on that side, the northeast side.
Well, that's not a
And I'm
secret
gonna-
path. That's just a regular path. That's the only other path available in the room.
The one that goes up into into that long hallway on the north side.
Correct.
So I'm gonna go up in there, and I'm gonna remember what Droop had said about that hallway, kind of roughly where that trap is.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna check for that trap and make an attempt to disarm it.
Give me a perception check.
I don't know if it matters, but my passive is 14.
So with your passive perception, you would sense this is a trap that is a false floor. And as you move about halfway into the room, you can see that there seems to be an unevenness to the floor. And as you take your longsword and you kind of poke at it a bit, the floor shakes and then falls to reveal a pit with spikes underneath. That is approximately the width of the room and 10 feet across.
Okay. So there's no passable gap there now?
There is a couple small crevices that are protruding from the sides where the basically the top of the trap was being held in place.
Can I attempt to jump it?
Sure. Give me an athletics check.
18.
Godoruk, you take one look at that gap, and see that it looks really easy for you. And so you run and very happily jump and sail despite your mass over this gap and land safely on the other side.
Leif smiles at that and just says, "Yeah, sure, let's do that." And I run and do the same thing.
Give me
Roll
the athletics check.
15.
You make it as well.
Also, could I be like posted up on the other side, waiting for someone to possibly miss and grab them?
Sure.
I'm standing by on this side in case anybody wants some help getting across.
Oh, green doggy can't jump the.
I'm back
'Cause
to
she's human
green
now.
elf lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, green elf lady.
Yeah, let's see.
Mir's not super athletic. He doesn't.
Can I
really
aid him
look-
across?
We also have rope if that.
Bamir,
could
give me an athletics
somewhat
check.
help.
You're not going to jump. Just give me an athletics check. Actually, give me a dexterity check. Even better. Give me a dexterity check.
Dexterity or acrobatics?
Dexterity.
Okay. He got a 9 on dexterity.
So, as you are seeing them jump this gap, you see that that is not something that you are comfortable doing. So you attempt to hug the wall and move and shuffle across the little crevasse. And Ashin is on one side and Godork is on the other side. And Ashin kind of helps you through. And midway through, you kind of have a slip. And I want you to give me another dexterity saving throw.
That's a different story. 18.
And you are able to just lean back and you go, huh, against the wall.
I got it. I'm good. I got it.
And you continue slowly inching the rest of the way across the gap. And you are fine. You have
Get across
you
that
have
gap,
made
man.
it. Godor gives you a hand at the end and gives you a good pull to safety.
Ah! Okay. Let's not do that again. I'm not a huge fan of pits. Or
We'll probably have
you
a
know,
bridge next time.
I think there was a perfectly not jumpy way around this trap thing.
This one's quicker.
But what fun was that?
At the sake of maybe just kind of showing my ass a little bit, I want to like make an attempt to do a front flip across the hole.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Now see if I could have done that. He would have
19.
done a flippy thing.
19. And Ashin, as you stand there, you look at the gap and you look at Bamir as he's just kind of caught himself across, and you give him one of these, like, hold up a finger, watch this, and flat-footed with no other momentum needed, you just spring your way and do a nice front flip and land right on the other side of the gap.
Leif gives a polite clap. Just
Golf clap.
Show off.
That leaves Asteria.
My
Left her over there,
athletics
man.
is trash.
God damn it!
Give me dexterity.
Okay. I'll
It's
do
only
that, 'cause
fair.
My strength is awful.
Yeah, do an acrobatics check. You're an elf. Do a flip.
See, I asked if I could do acrobatics.
Give me dexterity.
It's just straight dexterity. Do I add the bonus? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
give me a dexterity
If-
check.
Okay, 18.
All right, so as you look at Ashin, you give him one of those, like, needless show-off looks, and you choose to take what you feel is the safer route and also hug the wall. And with your light form, you easily can move across this little crevice and arrive on the other side. Like, why was that so hard for everybody?
Wasn't.
More of a,
Um,
why did you have to make that so hard?
It's just gonna sigh at Ashin.
I'm gonna move up to the door
Okay.
that's blocking our path,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna like pull my bow out and just kind of hold it and shoulder the door open a little bit and look inside.
I move up next to Ashin this time with my shield up.
And I'm right
And then I'm
behind
gonna-
them too.
And then I'm gonna look at Godoruk and I'm gonna say, "You go in first. I ain't doing this shit again."
Well, first, I
That's-
want you guys to give yourself a good old 20 XP for getting past the trap. GG's, everybody.
Okay.
Now the Droop told us about this room, correct? So we know what's waiting for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Droop said that in this room there were crypts and skeletons, and that they had been enchanted. And if you were not a red brand, then they would attack you.
Leif remembers this and just kind of walks into the room.
And as you walk into the room, you see
I'm gonna hold my hands up and be like, "All right."
large stone sarcophagi, and standing within this very dusty crypt. Propped up against each sarcophagus is a human skeleton clad in bits of rusty mail. There are false columns along the walls, and carved in them are images of oak trees. And there are double doors on the southeast corner, sheathed in a tarnished copper plate.
He just walked through.
As you walk in and see this, you walk right past the skeletons and stand in the middle of the room, and nothing happens.
I call out to them. Everyone, we're fine. We're all wearing red brand cloaks. They don't know the difference.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to come in?
I'm
I'm
gonna
come in.
wait
I'm gonna
until-
take a-
Amir is waiting for the more meaty party members.
I'm gonna
I'll-
stand at the doorway and wait for everybody to go in.
Do I have a red brand cloak?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
grabbed an extra
everybody's
one.
got it.
We
It just
have
doesn't
one that
fit you very.
fits
It
me.
just doesn't fit
Okay.
you very good.
All right. So
But you're
I
wearing it.
lazily walk in and pat Leif on the shoulder. Don't say
So I'm
anything.
gonna-
Just pat him on the shoulder.
I'm gonna stand at the door, and I'm gonna look at Leif and I'm gonna say, "I can't suffer evil to exist."
Well, they're not going to do anything. I mean, just maybe we should be ready to have a fight then if you're going to kill them. I
To
mean,
dismantle the
re-kill them?
skeletons.
Just disassemble them? Yeah, I don't know. They're undead.
Can I
Uh,
just like take my maul and shatter?
Can-
a
I was gonna say,
skeleton?
can I make an attack of surprise on whichever one is closest to the doorway?
No.
No.
As you, Ashin, as you take aim for the closest one to you and fire an arrow to it, and the bones just separate and fall to the floor. And Godoruk, as you charge in, waiting for something to happen, and go to hit one of the sets of bones, the ribs crack and also disassemble without anything happening.
I just kicked the
Can I
last
make
one
a
apart then.
check? I want to check
Do your thing.
Arcana, or like Arcana or Religion to figure
Sure,
out what the
Arcana
hell just
check.
happened.
Yep.
Alrighty. This will be
Leif,
better
Leif
tomorrow.
does as
but-
well, just out of curiosity.
Oh,
Can I-
I got a 22.
So as you make this Arcana check, you kind of walk over to one of the skeletons and kind of hold your hand close. And you can feel that there's a spell. And this spell is still present in the bones, but it does not appear to have had the necessary trigger to happen for it to react.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to one of the sarcophagus and kind of check it to see if it's like trapped.
As you nudge one of the sarcophagus lids, it comes open with a little bit of effort. You can see that it moves and nothing happens.
Should we just
Can I
open them
look
up?
inside it and see if there's anything inside of it?
As you push it just a little bit more, you can see that amid the bones in the sarcophagus, there is a platinum signet ring worth 50 gold pieces.
I would like to put that on.
Feel free.
Leif,
Oh, but
I'm
Leif
gonna
seeing
give it
that-
to Bamir. I just wanted to put it on.
Leif
It's a
peeks
little
into the
big for
sarcophagus.
your finger, almost like it was made for someone a little larger. But, it would fit there. You fumble with it.
And
then
when
you
I
return it.
realize that it doesn't fit me very good, I'm just gonna throw it to Bamir and say, "Hey, we'll sell this later."
Okay.
Can I check
Um,
the other two sarcophagi?
Yeah, I was gonna say let's
Let's
check the other two sarcophagus. Right.
Are we grave robbers now?
We're
I mean-
adventurers.
I need money.
Amir is actually
even
going
though I don't like
to look at the signet ring and see what it looks like.
The signet ring has an ornate kind of tree symbol on it, a remnant of the rest of the decor in the room. It appears that it is a ring that was marked for the Tressendar family, and this is their crypt. They are long
Right.
since gone.
Okay.
As Godoruk sees the signet ring, he walks over to the other sarcophagus and gives it a good shove, opening it up, and sees that there is a matching signet ring in that one as well.
And I toss them to Bamir as well.
Oh, you're going to open the third one as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Open them all.
And there, again, another matching signet ring. So you now have 3 platinum signet rings worth 50 gold pieces each.
Okay.
I kind of survey the rest of the room and I see that there's like 2 more doors. I point to both of them and I look at Godoruk and I'm like, which way do you want to go? And then I look at everybody else and kind of repeat the question.
Leif takes a look, and I think the prison was
Prisoners.
that one, right? Should we open that one?
Yeah, let's go see if we can't
if
help
we
those
can-
people.
The Woodcarver's family should be there.
Yeah.
Leif gets a little saddened as you realize that they're probably already aware of it, but that their
Yeah.
husband and father are dead.
And Bamir, remembering the got kids moment, says maybe let me or Leif do the talking if they're in there.
Fine.
So first I want to let you guys give yourselves a good old 25 XP apiece for surviving and passing the crypt room. And next, you're going to go in, or are you going to go in, or are you going to just listen? What are you going to do?
Leif is gonna go up to the door and listen for a moment to see if he hears anything.
Give me a perception check.
16.
As you put your ear up to the door, at first you don't hear anything. And as you listen a bit more intently, you can hear 2 gruff voices just talking normally. And you kind of get the sense that there are probably a few more red brands in this room.
Leif looks at the party and puts up a finger of 2 or 3, then taps the cloak on my shoulder.
I want to look at I'm gonna look at Leif and kind of make a hand motion, be like, draw them into this room if we can.
Leif puts a thumbs up and waits for everybody to get in position.
So I'm gonna kind of move over to the southwest sarcophagus and just ready my bow and be ready for the guy to come through the door.
Okay.
I'd like to attempt to hide behind the closest sarcophagus to be
Okay.
the first to attack, hopefully.
Bamir will hide behind the first sarcophagus there.
along with Godric. So you guys
I
are going to
think
be
Are you
stacked
behind
up, or
me?
do you want to be like behind the false, the false
I kind of
column.
thought
column?
I kind of thought Godric would probably be right next to
Be
the
like on
door,
the
and
left side.
I would be on the back, on the south side.
While they're doing this, Leif does shape change into the previous bugbear and puts the eye patch on again. Maybe signaling that a surprise attack might be beneficial for this.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna ready my
Is-
maul. and wait
Hysteria?
for him.
Why don't you come stand by me? Kind of, I'm going to say that to her, like, kind of in a protective tone.
She just goes and stands next to Ashin.
Once everybody's ready,
I'm
Leif
going to give a thumbs up.
pounds on the door, then opens it, and in the same voice as a mosque. Hey, we have to go to the front of the tavern. Some people broke in. Or the manor. Sorry.
As you open the door, you can see that basically this room has been converted to a prison. And essentially it appears like the Red Brands have been using these as slave pens. It's a long room that's been partitioned into 3 areas with iron bars walling off the north and the south. There's filthy straw laying everywhere in those cells, and hinged doors of which are secured by chains and padlocks. There's a pair of disheveled human women in the cell to the south, and a human boy is confined to the north. All are dressed in plain gray clothes and have iron collars around their necks. A heap of discarded clothing is piled carelessly against the far wall, so clearly they are not the first people to be here. And there are 2 Red Brands that are kind of just keeping guard within this room, laying kind of leaning against the back wall. And as they see who they believe is Mosk open the door, they stand up real quick and what's going on, sir?
Did you not hear me the first time? People broke into the manor. Let's go.
And they draw their swords and they follow you.
As I lead them into the room, I put my hand behind the back of one of their heads and cast Eldritch Blast.
Roll for initiative.
Oh,
Hell of a surprise round.
so, I was going to say, this is a surprise round, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Roll for initiative, though.
19.
Wow. Hold on 1 second.
He probably needs to roll deception.
I-
or something.
I can roll deception.
Yeah, give me a deception roll.
21.
Yeah.
Got +6.
I mean, you're a changeling, and you've already used this trick once, and it's worked. So I'm assuming it's working again for sake of brevity. But my goodness, wow. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I need to actually give me 1 second here. And then what was that initiative?
I rolled a 21.
19.
17.
21, 17, 19. Amir and Hysteria?
9.
11.
Okay. And you did Eldritch Blast, which is a cantrip. So roll for damage.
Just not even roll for hit?
You still
Well,
have
don't
to roll the
Do you still have to
hit.
roll the hit?
Yeah, I
It's
should.
right in his damn head.
So-
If you
Hands
miss
on
at
his
his
head.
head,
Casting,
roll the hit.
I think that's a given.
Please.
casting
Roll the hit.
spells.
Natural one.
Casting spells is
Sure.
obvious.
roll the hit. Roll
I
the hit.
rolled a 17.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. And I got an 8 for damage.
Okay. So As these two red brands walk out through the door, they immediately start heading off to the right. And as they do, you reach your hand out, and arcane energy flows through your hand, and you blast this one to the back of his head, and it almost knocks him over with the amount of force that you gave him for 8 damage. And Goderic, it's your turn.
The one that just got Eldritch blasted, I'm going to pop up and take a swing at him with my maul. 24.
That hits.
Take that and D6. 11 damage.
And as you see this blast happen, you were ready, and you didn't even wait for that to happen. You had already started swinging your maul into the gut of this, or into the center mass of this red brand. And as he gets blasted from the back of the head, he takes your maul to his chest, and you just hear a crunch, and he slumps to the floor. He's dead. One red brand to go, and Ashin, you're up.
I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to take aim at him and shoot.
Okay. Roll to hit.
19. Wait. 26.
Absolutely hits.
Nine damage.
And he takes an arrow right into the arm for 9 damage, not even realizing what's going on at this point. But it's his turn, and as he swirls around to see what's going on, he looks and sees a bugbear. And he goes, "Ay, what are you doing?" And he attempts to swing at Leif.
Is that not a surprise round?
Oh, it is a surprise
Yeah,
round.
we
Shit.
yeah.
Asteria. I'm like,
Wait,
I
why are
don't
they
think you
attacking?
need any more help, for the love of God.
I don't.
Asteria, go for it. He turns and look, and he's like, "Oh, damn it!"
She's gonna cast Thorn Whip on him.
Of course. Okay.
That's 22.
That'll hit.
Yep. And it's gonna do 6 damage.
Yank him into the room.
And yank him into the room, obviously. That's what it does.
As you reach out again with this thorn whip, this time your arm kind of whips, and as it does, the thorn whip extends and lashes across the body of this red brand, basically impaling his chest now with these thorns, and it lifts him up and pulls him to the middle of the room and drops him, and he is dead.
Oh, well. All right. I put my bow away.
Loot! We loot!
And you have survived the encounter. GG, everybody. You all get yourselves another 30 XP. Whoop, whoop.
Hey.
Yay. Wow.
Oh,
These poor
I
bastards
love-
are getting annihilated.
I love these initiative rolls, but I also want to be set up for something later.
Oh, my God.
Leif shape changes back and puts the eye patch away.
You've got to teach me how to do that.
It's not something I can teach.
So I'm gonna walk up to the door. Like I'm just not even caring about what what those guys had on them at this point. I'm gonna walk into that other room.
Mhm.
Will that key serve to open the doors in the
It does.
on the cells? Okay,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna open the cell for the two women first,
Okay.
and then I'm just gonna say, "We're here to set you free. We're from the town. We're working our way through the city."
The
And
manor.
then, yeah, we're from the city. We're working our way through the manor. I'm gonna open their cell, and then I'm gonna go and open the other cell.
And as they see you open up their cells, at first, they don't hear you. They have been so traumatized by the experience of being captured just 2 days before that they recoil in fear and basically go to the back of their cell and huddle together, afraid of you.
Can I kneel down and offer them an apple?
You're in the other room, but
Well, can I follow him in, kneel down, and offer them an apple?
I thought you said you were going to let Bamir
the
and,
two
and,
most
and Leif
intimidating
handle this.
people.
I like giving people apples, okay?
I'm not trying
Mimir
to.
just looks at Leif and is like,
I just
"You
struck
can
with
lead a
a.
horse to water, but you can't force it to drink."
They'll maybe learn.
So I guess I'll open up the second cell, and can I kind of inspect their collars and see if I can get them removed?
As you again approach the boy in the second room, he is also going to recoil away from you in fear and go, "Please don't hurt me! Please don't hurt me! Please! No more! No more!"
At
I'm
that
just gonna say,
point,
Bamir.
Leif and Pamir definitely
Um,
head into the room at those cries of help.
Yeah.
You can
I'm gonna-
hear as you enter the
Bamir-
room, Bamir. You can see Godoruk is attempting to be compassionate towards the two women in the one cell, and Ashin is in the cell with the boy, and the women you can hear sobbing, and you walk into the boy with his hands up, obviously recoiled in fear. They see your cloaks and believe you to be Red Brands
Yep.
coming to take them to do bad things to them.
Bamir comes into the room, and as soon as he is outside of the room with all the dead things in it, he'll take off the cloak and come down next to Goderic and say, "You have nothing to fear from us. We are in disguise. We are taking out the Red Brands so that they're no longer a menace to you and your families."
Who are you talking to right now?
The women.
The women. Okay. Give
Leif
me
Yeah,
a,
repeats
so
this
take
towards
the apple.
the young boy at the same time. As he goes to that cage, I go over to the young boy.
each of you give me a persuasion check.
15.
I got a 25.
So, Bamir, as
Rolled a nat
you
20.
kneel down next to these women and they hear your words, you can see their bodies ease slightly. And the woman who is holding on to, who you can only assume to be her daughter, looks at you and says, "Thank the gods. You're here to rescue us.
Yes.
Have you, what do we do? We're chained." And she pulls at her collar.
Goderic.
I have the
You-
key. I don't know if that key opens their collars.
You
I like
notice
to
to
be
be
that
heroic.
you notice that as she's turned her head to you, you can see that there is a clasp and a padlock at the back of each of these collars.
Can I attempt to break it? Because that's just who I
not
am.
while it's on their
At
neck.
at risk
Yeah,
of causing damage to the
I'd
to the
rather not
NPCs.
then.
Yeah,
I will
Bamir
motion to do it and then
holds
So,
think
them off
otherwise.
and-
I'm just gonna. I'll hand the key to Leaf since he's right next to me,
Okay.
and I'll be like, "Hey, try to take his collar off." And I just walk out of the room, and I walk over to Asteria wherever she's standing, and I'm just gonna be like, "I give up trying to talk to people."
And Leif, as you As he gives you the key and then walks off, you go to the boy and have calmed him and expressed to him that you're going to take off his collar, and he looks at you. Yes, please. It hurt. It hurts so bad. It's so heavy. And you reach behind and you slide the key in, and you hear a kind of a nice click, and the lock slides open, and you're able to remove the collar from his neck and kind of throw it off to the side. And he goes, thank you, sir. Please go help my mother. Go help my mother.
Leif.
Bamir looks back at Leif and holds up his hand.
Leif tosses it over to him and nudges to the boy softly. Why don't you go see your mother and sister?
And the boy runs into the same cell and attempts to assist Bamir in removing the collars from his mom and his sister.
We'll get them off. I'll take it off of the daughter first.
Okay.
And then take the collar off the mother.
And while you're doing this, the mother, while she is trusting that you're there to save them as you've freed her son, still clutches desperately onto her daughter as you remove these
He
chains.
makes no attempt to remove them.
Can I grab the cloaks off the dead guys?
They're in the room. Yes.
Okay. So that Arcana check, is that party knowledge?
No. Unless Bamir
Okay.
said so.
He probably would have relayed that information on. Just to,
So
We
I'm
take
just
out
gonna
all the
grab.
skeletons already anyway.
I'm gonna grab their cloaks and I'm gonna offer them to the families just so they can get out of here safely.
There are 2 cloaks and 3 people.
Okay.
Yeah. we should
So-
have an extra one still.
We have an extra one because we were the 3 in the room. There were 3 extra cloaks on the hook. We already had 4, and I only took 1 or more.
You took 1. And
I
gave
took
it to
1.
Godric.
Oh. That's right.
Can I take mine off because I don't like wearing it anyway and give it to the
I mean, you
child?
can.
You
We
absolutely
run the
can.
risk of activating that room.
Yeah, but I'm not smart.
Okay, let's screw it.
I give the kid, the young boy, my cloak.
So it would be worth stating then, because you guys are all in that room still, maybe somebody should let Godric know to tell, or you guys should tell the family to wait in that room.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just like we know that you probably have bad memories of this place, but we would ask you to stay here a little bit longer so that we can finish clearing out the rest of the red brands. We think it'll be safe here for now until it doesn't look like there are any more coming. So we're going to finish taking out the ones that are here and come back for you soon. Can
Okay.
you do that for me?
And the mother has now pulled her son also close, but he's chosen to kind of position himself in front of both of them. And she goes, we can do that. Just be careful in that room. They're always talking. They're always saying some word.
How old is the boy?
The kids appear to be early teens, like 13, 14.
Okay. So those did either one of those guys out there have a short sword?
Yes, they all
Can
the
I-
brands are carrying short swords as kind of their standard gear.
I'm gonna grab one of the short swords and I'm gonna give it to the boy.
I was gonna give him a dagger.
And
That's
the,
fine.
the boy takes it, and it's not overly heavy, but he clearly doesn't know what to do with this other than just hold it up, and he kind of holds it at a ready in the best way that he can.
And I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna say, if it's anybody other than our group, you give them the pointy end in
Do
their
my-
gut.
Do my best, sir. And he's just kind of like shaking a little bit, but he's holding it. You can see in his eyes that he's kind of got this fiery determination to protect.
Bamir kneels down in front of him and grabs him on the shoulder, and kind of Huck puts his hand on his neck and just says, "You're awfully brave to keep stay alive and take protection over your mother and sister.
I have to, sir. They took my father. We haven't been able to find him. Have you found him?
Just stay here and protect them for now. We'll come back shortly. And he actually gives him bardic inspiration so that he can, he gives an extra. He feels an extra energy to him as he's.
Cat needs a bio break. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And as your hand kind of leaves the back of his neck, you can feel that as you've given him this inspiration, his body has kind of stilled, and he has a bit of a rigidity to his form now. And you can see that your inspiration has taken hold.
Leif does look at Bamir for a moment and then looks at the door and thinks, I can handle the door to keep them safe for about an hour. We should be able to be back in that time and unbarricade the door.
If there's something you can do, then it'll be good.
Yeah, let's go into the back to the crypt. Make sure that our sleeping bones don't wake up.
All right.
The mother said something about something the Red Brands were saying over and over again.
Yes, as
Was I the only one that caught that?
As Bamir turns to walk away, the mother reaches out with her hand. Stop! Stop! Stop!
Yes.
You.
He immediately turns back around and
You.
looks her in the eye.
Don't walk out there without that cloak. I don't know what will happen, but
Of course.
when we came through, and when others have come and gone, they keep saying this word, Ilfan. Ilfan. And it seems to keep whatever's in that room at bay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll get some more cloaks for you, so you'll be safe going through.
If you find my husband, please, he was taken. And she starts sobbing.
He will cast a message and look her straight in the eye and say, I'm sorry, we found your husband, but he is no longer in this world.
And with that, she is a bit caught off guard at first because she's not used to having this kind of internal dialogue of someone else in her head, and her eyes kind of widen, and then you can see tears well up under both and start streaming down her face as she quietly sobs over her children.
He puts his hand on her shoulder and says, and it's still in the message, keep your children close. We'll keep you safe.
And with that, you can see her kind of grab them just a little bit tighter.
Can we offer them some rations before we move on so they can eat?
I don't know why you keep asking me if you
can just do it.
I'm posing to the party like
I'm still offering them apples.
You already appled. I mean, yes.
Okay.
We could have extra
Food.
apples. in the
cool.
box.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
So now that you have kind of calmed them a bit, Goderic, you once again reach out to give them apples, and the boy looks at you a little bit leery, giving your complexion, but happily accepts the apples and gives you a nod of thanks, and then hands them to his mom and sister, who immediately just kind of take quiet bites into the apples, and you can tell that it's certainly been a while since they've eaten.
Okay.
Now we leave.
We're going to keep this room safe. We'll be back shortly. Okay. And he motions for everybody to get their cloaks on and get out of the room. Give them some space.
And as you leave the room, everybody with their cloaks on, you walk back into the crypt, and again, nothing happens.
I don't have a cloak on.
He gives you
He
the
gave you his cloak back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Didn't catch that.
I'm just gonna point at the door that's on the northwest corner.
Leif puts his finger up real quick and closes the cell door, or the door to the cells. Can I borrow someone's water skin real quick?
Sure.
I take Godric's water skin, and then once each time along the creases of both sides of the doors, I use shape water to freeze a line of water up the seams to seal the door shut. I look at the I looked at the party and said, "It should unfreeze in 1 hour if we don't make it back."
That is an awesome use of that spell. So,
Cool.
as a couple things today, one point of order. One person has pointed out to me that I have not been using the inspiration ability within this game. So for that very creative use of a spell, I'm going to bestow upon you inspiration, which at any point of your choosing you can use to add advantage to a roll.
Okay.
And that is just to Leif at this point.
I'm gonna go ahead and make my way to that door
Okay.
and open it.
So you notice the door is locked as you try to budge it, and you go.
Nope.
You weren't
I'm gonna
expecting
look at Leaf. Can I get that? Or who has the key?
I point to Bamir.
Vamir holds it up.
Can I get it back? Can I get the key?
He tosses it to Godorok and says, "Maybe you should go first."
I'm not gonna.
I'm okay with
I
that.
won't say no. I
I
back away.
will. I will unlock the door and go through first.
As you open the door, you can see that this room is kind of an armory of sorts. There are no enemies inside, and you can see racks of weapons kind of hung there. There's a dozen dirty red cloaks you can see from the Red Brands have kind of been using this as a stock room as well. But you can clearly see spears, short swords, long swords, crossbows, and quivers.
What is
Of
the
arrows.
biggest thing they have? Does anything catch my eye of big things?
I don't.
Big weapons.
Nothing big catches your eye. That's all you were able to see.
Aw.
So I don't currently have a quiver. Like I have my arrows stuffed in one side of my pack.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna grab one of those quivers.
There are 8 quivers holding 20 crossbow bolts each in them.
Oh, they have crossbow bolts in them.
They are crossbow bolts.
Can I dump the bolts out and do some management of my gear?
Sure.
Can I take the crossbow and the bolts?
Are you proficient in those weapons?
I am actually.
Sure. Then take a
As far as
crossbow.
I'm aware, let me double check.
I peek into the room. I see the crossbow bolts scattered across the ground now after I heard the clattering. I glance over at Bamir and smile. Do you need any more crossbow bolts?
I don't think so, but I'll probably take a few just to replenish my stock
Yeah,
and
I'll take a bundle and
have some
I guess.
extras, I guess.
So as you take inventory, I say all of you, as you take inventory beyond just the cursory look and you kind of see really what's there, there are 12 spears, 6 short swords, 4 long swords, 6 light crossbows, and again, 8 quivers holding 20 crossbow bolts each.
Are those
So
the
now-
kind
Would
of
it be
things?
quivers or cases of crossbow bolts?
They're
Quivers.
cases.
Quivers? Okay.
Quivers.
Oh, crossbow bolts come in cases in the
Yeah, that's
in
what I
the
was saying.
game.
The quivers are regular arrows, right?
Yeah, that's what it says.
But they're in quivers because they're ready to be
Yeah.
packed. So
That's the.
cool. All right.
It's a crossbow bolt
There
case.
we
It's
go.
the same thing as a.
so you're saying
except
for your
crossbow
inventory, for a
bolts.
purpose of inventory, yeah, probably a case of 20.
Is that something that I should keep track of? Like, are we gonna try and collect all of those weapons and armaments, or just?
That's a
'cause
lot
I
of
would-
weight.
Yeah,
It is
I
a lot
would-
of weight.
That's a lot.
We can always we can come back and get the stuff and bring it down into town and maybe supply the town with some of it, like rearm the guards, maybe some of the townsfolk so they can protect themselves, or we can just sell them stuff.
And you can make a note that there are arms and armament in a room here.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can
Not to
put that
mention
up.
Let's
the
do
fact
that.
that you've killed
What's her name? No.
6.
can't think of her name.
like 20 people.
7, 8,
And looted
9.
them.
You've killed 9 red brands so far in this area, and they all carry short swords.
And
So-
an Othic.
The Nothic just
Yeah.
has
Headed
claws,
up.
which you cut off. So there's that.
I do have one.
his head.
And
away.
it's eye busted arrow protruding
Yeah.
face.
Okay.
Kind of wish
the
the eye was
mirror-
still intact.
I'm not gonna write down all of the weapons and armor stuff, and if we come back for it, can we? Is that okay? Like, do I need to write down all the weapons and armor, or because I don't think it's
I
going.
can
I don't
relay
think
to you
we.
later if you need to.
I don't think we're going to make much money off of selling weapons and armor that are, not.
No, but we can definitely
Ours.
like maybe arm people with it.
Yeah, I
Sure.
mean, if we just want to tell the town people, like the town leader guy, that there's all these weapons and armor in the manor that
We'll
they
do
can
that.
use
I'm-
to equip.
I'm
their
thinking
guard, then
more
that's fine with me.
costers
Well, yeah, either one.
because they've
I
been
think we
robbed.
should tell Costers.
I don't think we
Well,
should
these
sell
are-
them. I think we
these
should let
probably-
them know.
They're probably from Coster if she's already been raided.
Probably.
Mm.
We'll just let her know.
Yeah, just
Don't
let
have to
her
go and
know,
sell them.
or
Just let her know.
whoever.
Maybe we'll get
A reward.
She'll
Bamir.
probably be more than happy to come after him herself. So
Yeah, I think she'll be fine. with
Bamir.
that.
that's
All right.
that's your deal.
Sounds
So-
like a unanimous decision.
look, it pays to be popular. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you and your short sword.
That being said, I think there's a secret wall right here, is what Droop said.
Yeah, I
As
want to
you-
go in that way.
As you make your way kind of around the room, you kind of feel in this corner where Droop said that there was a secret door. And as you had come through the one in the cistern, you can now see clearly this kind of pattern to the brick that's a little different. And you give it a good push, and you can feel it give a little bit, and you push a little more, and this swings free. And you can see that there has now just been this shortcut now into a storeroom and kind of a work area. This area is kind of at the end of the natural cavern, right? It's been finished
Mhm.
and dressed with stone walls and flagstone floor. There are several barrels stored against the walls here, and along with a number of empty crates, straw for packing, hammers, pry bars, nails, obviously things that they were using to retrofit this home manor. And the cavern continues, as you can see, which you are familiar with. And where do you go
I'm
from here?
gonna make my
What's
way
the
across this
barrels?
room to where Droop had said that other secret door was, right in this room.
Okay,
Now,
well,
And I wanna-
before we go through,
Yeah, I'd like to check the
Um,
barrels.
yeah, we
Pry
should.
bars, pop one open.
I'm just gonna wait by the
well-
door then.
We probably don't want to make a lot of noise here. We can always come back to check the barrels, but I just wanted to say that before we go through there, it looks like it's a straight shot into that bedroom where the glass staff for Yarno was.
Mhm.
So I think we should be quiet as we go down those stairs, and also just confirm with everybody that we want to take Yarno alive if we can, so that so that he can talk to, so that's what's his
Halia.
name?
I'm-
Talk to him.
I'm in agreement, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my longbow away, and I'm gonna grab my quarterstaff off the side of my pack, and I'm just gonna ready it.
Okay.
While they're doing this, I do grab the dirty red brand cloak really quickly, run to the other room, and drop a pile of them right next to the door, just in case they need them, and then run back to the party.
okay.
He took a father from a family. I don't know that I want to give him any mercy.
He'll get his just desserts, but it's better. It'd probably
Let's-
be better for now.
I'm in
that
agreement. Let's take him
they
alive.
get some closure in the town for what this guy's done to them.
I
And
pat
also-
I
Godric,
make no promises.
I pat Godric on the shoulder. Look, most likely, if we give him Halia, he probably will be worse off than if we kill him.
Sildar.
There are fates worse than death.
Sildar. Sildar was looking for. That's
Or
right.
Halia. They're both looking for them.
Okay.
As a sort of, hold on real quick. Aside, Leif, a reminder, Halia asked you for correspondence of his, not for him specifically.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
And,
I wrote that down
yeah.
wrong.
and Sildar is asking for his friend.
Got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we're gonna
In-
bring Sildar his friend
back in.
and Halia his notes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Godaruk accepts this, I guess.
So I want to.
Won't kill him.
Probably best not to kill your employer's friend, even if he is evil.
Yeah.
It's a
I
thing.
want to make my way into that. I guess it's a hallway with a stairwell, and then go down the stairs.
How about you
to the
guys
next...
give me a party stealth check?
I will absolutely give you
fun.
a stealth check.
Yeah.
Why do you do this?
Oh, yay! That's gonna be
Styria
fun.
got a natural 20.
Oh, that sounds good. Lots of oohs.
Godaruk got a natural 1.
Oh,
I got-
Jesus.
Leif got a 13.
Goderick goes last.
I got a 20.
So we have
Not a
we got
natural
two,
20, but
we
I
got
rolled
two 20s, a 1, and what else?
13.
Okay.
And then 9.
Ugh.
This is not the time to fail.
Our first time to fail them.
I like this look.
So, as you make your way down the secret passage, Ashin, you get to the second door at the bottom of the stairs. As Godoruk kind of has to open the door again at the top of the stairs for him to get through, and as he passes through, he kind of lets his hand go, and it makes a giant thud, which you can only assume can be heard for quite some area around you. How would you like to proceed?
I'm just gonna scowl at Godoruk and shrug and burst in the door.
Leif is very close behind him after that thud.
And Assyria's right behind Leif.
Yeah, I
And
once
Pamir's
I
right
see him
behind
start
the
running, I
Syrian.
run behind him.
Godoruk's last.
Go time. I push you out of the way.
As you enter this room, you can see that a short mage is sitting at the desk. He's got a dark beard, and he apparently was studying a tome before he heard this noise. He wears a princely mantle of ermine, and a beautiful glass staff is in his arms, pointing directly at you as he heard the sound coming through the door. And as he sees you pour into the room, we're going to roll initiative. So let's do that.
Oh, good.
That makes up for that a little bit.
More than
Right.
3 rolls.
20.
It's Nat 22, not 20. Why? Why you doing me like
13.
1 second.
16.
Hold on. There we go. Sorry, so who? I'm just going Pamir.
He got a 7.
Okay, Hysteria.
Nice.
13.
Okay, Godoruk.
22.
Okay, Ashin,
16.
Leif.
20.
Okay. Godoruk, what did you get?
22.
Okay. As you enter this room, he pulls out his staff And he goes, "Gentlemen and lady, who are you and why are you here? Speak quickly."
Are we doing this
Are we-
based off initiative?
Are we going in initiative order? Or?
No, we're just going to have a
Oh.
conversation first.
Ah,
Bamir? I'm
Bamir.
going to defer to Bamir's talking.
Yeah.
I give a quick glance at Bamir.
yeah. Bamir will say, "We know who you are, Glassstaff, or should I say, Yarno. Your friend Sealder is looking for you. Come with us, and there's no need for this to go on any longer. Your group of miscreants has been taken from you, and you're all that's left here by yourself, alone."
As you say this, he kind of eyes widen, and then his eyes shrink back down as he eyes up the party. And you can tell that he has lost interest in talking to you and is now buying time. And Godoruk, you sense this and are able to take the first action.
I'm going to reckless attack him with my maul. I'm so glad I did that.
You might want to move the
18.
map over.
Yes, thank you.
I'm so glad I had advantage because that would have been very bad. So roll 18 for attack.
Okay, and that hits.
Damage. 13 for damage.
And as you see him try to cast a spell and kind of point his staff in a direction, you run upon him with your maul and wail right into his ribs. And you can see the side of his body just give. And you hear him go, "Oh!" As he has clearly been very badly hurt by this hit. But in turn, he looks at you and gives you, or casts the spell, Hold Person. Right at you, Godoruk. And you need to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, great. 14.
Was it a tie goes to the attacker, right?
Yes. I'm just trying to see what the
Was that a tie?
DC on the spell is. It's not telling me.
Uh,
Isn't it 14?
What's his sheet say?
It just says wisdom saving throw. Oh no! Never mind. Excuse me. Oh jeez. No, that does not. You did not make that.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So I am held.
And so you feel yourself after this attack as you're standing there after just hitting him. As it hits, you feel like you can't move and you're stuck. And at the same time, he attempts to make a move towards the door at the far end of the room. And he gets to the door. And it is Leif's turn.
I use Bardic Inspiration for multiple die if my attack calls for it. Is it just one of those die?
Bardic, you don't have Bardic Inspiration.
Or not Bardic, sorry, Inspiration, just regular Inspiration. My bad.
It's just on your action,
It
so you
gives
get advantage
you-
for an action.
Yeah.
So if I use-
well,
okay.
you spend
So-
Inspiration, and it gives you advantage on a roll.
On so if my roll it has multiple die, do I get Inspiration for all of them, or just one of those die?
One.
of them.
One, okay. 1 sec then. So Leif casts Sleep on Yarno.
Okay.
So let me roll. I'll use that now and get an extra die. Okay, 31.
You can't use Inspiration on Sleep. It's a D20 roll for advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's only for d20s. Got
Yes.
it.
Yes.
And I will not use it. Thank you. Do that and so 28.
And as he reaches through the door and starts moving, instantly he falls flat on his face
I
and he is asleep.
quickly look at the party. Tie him up.
Would
As
that
soon as
That
release?
frees me because he's asleep.
Would that release Godoruk from his?
I believe whole person is concentration.
So it would.
It is not a concentration. It's an enchantment. So Godoruk must make a saving throw at the end of the turn.
Okay.
But as the combat has ended, we will say that you have been released from the hold of his spell,
Okay.
and you are no longer paralyzed.
I'm gonna start pulling rope out.
It's no. If it was something that was more detrimental, I would make you continue to have to make those saves or have someone aid you. In this instance, because it's not a horrible effect, it's just you being paralyzed. We're just going to say that you were freed for the sake of time and continuing on.
Sweet.
I'm gonna take my quarterstaff.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. So I can move him around without him waking up, or how does sleep work?
Here, let me get the pull up for
Time
you.
up first,
It
right?
says until
He takes damage.
he takes damage or someone uses an action to shake or slap the sleeper awake.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna
So-
shake or slap him, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like slide the quarterstaff between his arms and his back,
Okay.
and then use the rope to bind him to the quarterstaff.
Okay.
I'm gonna take his staff away from him.
Good idea.
Okay.
And then
hand it,
can I-
and hand it to Leif.
Can I search over him and like remove his belongings? Anything else he might have on his person?
So I'm going to say so he is now asleep, and you guys are saying you want to do loot phase.
Remember, sleep only lasts a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the minute is to bind him.
Okay.
So I
the minutes
bound
to
him.
bind him. So as he starts to arouse from his slumber, how do you have him positioned?
He's still face down on the floor.
So he's
With-
face down on the floor with the staff on his back, and he's bound to the staff.
Yes. And I'm right there
And-
still holding the staff.
So
And
he wakes
his-
up, and his face is smushed in the floor like this, and he says, "Who are you? What do you want? Untie me!"
That's not happening.
That's a negative. We're gonna take you back to Sildar, and you're going to have to account for everything that you've been doing.
You Sildar? Sildar is looking for me?
Of course, he's looking for you. You went missing.
And with that, he kind of has a look of fear appear over his face. Come now, can we work something out? Come on, please.
You mean work something out with the leader of a band of miscreants who have been terrorizing the town of PHANDALIN?
I mean, when you put it that way, yes.
No.
Maybe just stop talking and accept your fate.
No,
Who are you
come on,
working
there's got to
for?
be something you want. I can tell you. I can tell you something.
You're going to tell us everything anyway. But if you are willing to give us more information, then it might make your passage a little bit easier.
What do you want to know? Just don't hurt me.
Who are you working for?
And he kind of clams up a bit. Give me an intimidation check.
Okay. I was gonna say, could I intimidate him?
Sure. You want to?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Very much
So-
Can he assist me on my intimidate check?
Sure.
So I'm
okay
gonna
with this. Yeah.
like roll him up on his side now so that he can see the rest of the party, or so he can see Bamir.
Okay.
And I'm still gonna have like my weight leveraged on him so that
he
he can.
goes, "Huh," and
And
he's
I
kind of
step
held
next
up.
to Bamir to be big and intimidating to help him.
That'll be a 20 on intimidate.
Okay.
As Yarno sees Godoric kind of walk over to him, he almost tries to peel back as he is a bit uncomfortable seeing somewhat of an orcish fare, and looks over to you, Bamir, and sees you bear down on him. He goes,
Out with it, you fawning fat kidney bugbear.
I laugh.
spit uncalled for, but just don't kill me. Just, give me a word you won't kill me.
Oh, I'm not going to kill you.
I
But you are going to tell me what I want to know.
I work for the spider.
And who is the spider?
He's a drow. I don't know more than that. I just know that he's a drow.
You've
Very
got to know
powerful.
more than that. How is he giving you his instructions? Why were you working for him? How did he find you? Come on, man.
I mean,
We're burning daylight here.
he wanted me here to keep the city under the control. He's contacted me using correspondence over at the desk. You can find a note from him telling you, corroborating what I'm saying is true.
Bamir looks over at Leif, snaps his fingers, and points at the desk.
Leif goes over, but at the same time, I'll walk into the desk. I look at Bamir. The bugbear knew more than him, so he's lying. And I go to the correspondence.
Bamir will make an insight check on all this guy saying.
Give me an insight check.
That'll be a 19.
So you can tell that Yarno is being straight with you. He is not, he does not seem to be withholding more than he knows. He knows that what he said so far about the Black Spider being a drow and that's all he knows about him is true. The fact that he communicates with him through correspondence is also true. And as you, Leif, go over and look at his desk, you can see that there's various papers and notes that are stacked neatly on the desk, mostly written orders to apothecaries and alchemists in nearby settlements for materials for his workshop. But you can find a letter signed with a black spider symbol. And I'll read you the letter. The letter says, Lord Albrecht, my spies in Neverwinter tell me that strangers are due to arrive in PHANDALIN. They could be working for the dwarves. Capture them if you can. Kill them if you must. But do not allow them to upset our plans. See that any dwarven maps in their possession are delivered to me with haste. I'm counting on you, Iarno. Don't disappoint me.
Okay, Yarno. Can you post that in the Discord or something?
Eventually, yes.
Okay.
Does he
Okay.
have anything of dwarvish nature in there? In his room? Can I look around for that? Actually speak dwarvish.
You can look around his room if you would like.
I'm gonna look at
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna look at Yarno and ask him what's in the next room.
That's my workshop. I do all manner of things in there. You go look and see. Obviously, you have me. Take what you like.
What are these plans that the spider speaks of in his letter?
The spider wants to get the cave, like everyone does. There's power down in the cave. The rumored forge of spells. I mean, if you know history, everyone knows this. If he could tap into that power, there's no telling what he could do. What he could give me. That's how he recruited me in the first place. I found letters and soon were met with shadowy figures and all manner of creatures like goblins coming to me, telling me to come work for him. Even members within the Lord's Alliance came to me, offering me information and power through the spider. And,
You said the Lord's Alliance approached you with information regarding the spider?
Of course I'm part of the Lord's Alliance. There are various corrupt members, as there would be in any organization. I decided to turn my back when I found myself in a beneficial situation. Money, power, ability to take over a town, be able to get gold, and did I mention power?
How'd that work out for you?
It was going really well until you came along.
Damn right.
I-
No.
So that being said, I'm gonna stand him up, and I'm gonna kind of hand him over to Godoruk, and I'm gonna push into the next room, kind of on my own.
How hurt is he?
Very.
Very okay. I
Yeah.
won't do anything.
So yeah, let's not mess with him anymore.
Okay.
You collapsed
I was gonna.
the ribs on one of his sides
Okay.
and probably broke his hip. So he
Can I poke him in his ribs? Because I am angry.
Can we
with
not
him.
damage him, please?
He's already damaged.
Any more?
So
No hurting him.
Ashin, as you go into the workshop, you can see that there are a large work table with alembics, retorts, coils, other alchemical things, all stewing and bubbling away. There's a bunch of bookshelves that are crowded with sheaves of parchment and strange-looking tomes. Other than that, the room is rather unremarkable. As you comb through the things in this room, you can see that there's a lot of stuff that really doesn't have a whole lot of value, but there are 3 small bottles sitting at the end of the table that appear to have rare properties to them. They look different to you. They look special, like this was the output of his work.
Can I maybe inspect them a little bit?
Sure. What's your
Arcana?
Arcana? Yeah. What's your Arcana passive?
I don't have an Arcana passive. I can make an
Wait,
Arcana check.
Can you
if
make an
want. I
Arcana
can
check?
roll.
Yeah, make an Arcana check for me. Sorry.
12.
So you can clearly see that these things are arcane in nature and alchemical, but you can't quite put your finger on what they are.
Okay, Yarno. What have you been working on here?
Mary, you going to give me an Arcana check as well?
Oh, we're not in the room though. That's just
Oh, it sounded
Sasheen.
like Bamir. To me, that was
So-
Bamir walking into the room and checking.
Oh,
Oh.
no, I was talking to Yarno. Like,
Oh,
what are you working on in there?
you know, just various things there. I've been working on just powerful agents for spells and things. Please.
Okay. Anything that you're working on for the Spider or the Lord's Alliance? The corrupt members?
I mean, no, these are things for me. There's a rather nice decoction of mercury in there. Found some dragon bile, very hard to come by. And some powdered nightshade. And Bamir, as you hear this, you recognize that each of those items on their own would probably be worth somewhere in the area of 25 gold pieces to an alchemist or apothecary.
I'm going to make an Arcana check for myself to try and figure out what those are used for.
As with Leif, when he hears them, he's curious. And did you 25 gold pieces each, or just together?
Each, yes.
Each. Okay.
And he gets a 5.
Let's hope I do better. 16.
So you can see that these are reagents, but you are not aware of what they might be used for, what kind of concoctions or decoctions they would be used.
Would Asteria be able to do a nature check? Would that help? As to what those items might be used for?
No, not really.
No? Okay. I tried.
They're just expensive items. They're loot to you.
Okay.
Could I
So-
force him to tell us more about?
I think we've already
I think-
intimidated him
Yeah,
as much
so
as we're
I'm just
going to
gonna-
be able to.
I'm gonna gather up those items just to maybe bring with us.
Sure.
All right.
And I'm gonna take one more look around the room, and I'm gonna notice that there's another door there.
I mean, you can understand that nightshade is a deadly chemical.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
So you know that nightshade could potentially be used for some kind of potion as a way of killing. Mercury
Poison.
is just a metallic reagent that has all kinds of alchemical properties, and dragon bile, who knows?
I'm assuming you've gotten notes on your research or something about all these.
Sure, you can take some notes.
Leif goes ahead and gathers up any important looking notes in regards to his work.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of looks at you and afterwards, you know, he goes, "Look, I'm just trying to figure things out. I'm trying to hone my craft, if you will. You know, I'm trying to master the arts. I'm just concocting alchemical mixtures. I'm just, you know,
understand
brewing
that.
potions, invisibility, those types of things."
Now, I understand that, but you've gone about trying to acquire these things in the wrong way. And you're going to have to answer for your crimes. You know that, don't you?
Oh, I do
Um,
now.
If you can be forthright with your information to Sealdar, maybe he will see fit to forgive you, or maybe argue on your behalf to the town to spare you from whatever punishment that they have to offer. But until then, you're going to have to deal with whatever they can bring you.
And with that, your words kind of fall on his conscience a bit, and for the first time, instead of looking spiteful or just really fearful for his life, you can tell that he's kind of contemplating what that means now that he has to face those facts. And he carries his head a little low for a moment, and he goes, "Sildar is going to be disappointed. We've done a lot of good together in the past. I doubt he's going to take any kind of pity on me. And I doubt I deserve it. And with that, he kind of snaps out of it a little bit and kind of goes back to kind of putting on a little bit more of a front. But you could tell that there was that chink in his armor that he has certainly understood that he's lost his way.
Can I kind of make my way off on my own a little bit? I need to like clear my head.
Sure.
I'm gonna make my way through that door in the south.
Okay. That's going to put
And-
you back into the common room where we found the Red Brands playing cards.
Right.
Or
And I'm just gonna keep
that
making my
hallway.
way into like the room where Droop's at.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let Droop know that everybody's dead.
Everyone dead?
Yep.
Even Nasty Wizard Man?
Oh no, we are arresting him. He's gonna
Oh,
face justice.
good. He dickhead.
Would you mind coming maybe with us? Would you like to travel with us?
Droop, come with?
Yes.
And for the first time in what seems probably a long time to Droop, he has to actually make a choice, and he's been given a choice. And he goes, Droop, choose. Nothing for me here? Yeah. Droop, go with you. And he
So
kind of gets up and stands there, and you can tell that he's kind of thinking about something. And he goes, "1 minute, wait here." And with that, he kind of dives underneath one of the beds in the room, and he pulls back a stone from one of the corners underneath the bed, and pulls out a small pack. And in this pack, you can see that he basically just has a bunch of garbage. It's this rummage that he's kind of collected for himself, just to feel like he has possession and control over something in his life. And he also pulls out this kind of good 3-4 foot long stick, and it's kind of his kind of thing. And he goes, Droop takes stick. Droop takes stuff. Ready. And you see this little
love
goblin who's just kind of like got a little staff, and he's got a little backpack filled with nothing basically, and he's wearing tattered just clothes with like a horribly stained apron, and he's half covered in bugbear blood. And he just kind of gives you this weird little goblin smile where he's like, doesn't know what
So-
to do. He has no idea what to do now.
I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna say, I know this is a red brand cloak, but I just want you to wear it. Okay, so it's a little bit more protection from the elements. And I take my red brand cloak off and put it on him, and like fasten it around his neck. And I pull the hood up over his head, and I just tell him, this is so you don't scare the people in the town. Okay?
And Drew sees that you kind of put this on him, and it's a little big, lot big, and the hood kind of falls more than halfway down his face and kind of sits on the end of his nose, but it does kind of hide his face, and it kind of covers his shoulders and body, and as his little arm kind of sticks out to the side, you can see that the cloak actually trails about 2 feet on the floor behind him.
Perfect. All right, let's go, Drew. Let's rejoin the party, and you can help us get. There was some people that were captured, and we're gonna help get them down to the town, and we're gonna get Yarno down to the town. Okay.
Troop follower! And then with that, he kind of cocks his head back so that he can see you underneath the hood of the cloak. And he starts walking, and he just kind of waddles behind you, and he's dragging the cloak behind him, and he just can hear the little of his little 4-foot stick that he has with him, and he follows you back to the party. And I'm going to give you inspiration for being kind to a goblin, because that was something that I was not thinking that you would do ever.
I wasn't planning on it.
Didn't think so.
The little guy's just tugging at my heartstrings a little bit.
He is shell of droop, but he's cute. So let's go. So you guys have met up with the rest of the party.
All right. We're gonna collect Yarno and kind of collect all of the valuable things that we can see. Bamir encourages Yarno to point out anything that we might be missing. And asks, if he's, he's just trying to clean things up here and get
Sure.
ready
As
to move
you
out.
as Ashin was over talking to Droop, you guys kind of policed the rest of the room, and at the foot of Yarno's bed, you guys noticed that there was a very sturdy but unlocked wooden chest holding basically what is like the best pickings of the Red Brand's take over the past few months since they've been established in this actual manor. And it contains 180 silver pieces, 130 gold pieces, and a silk pouch containing 5 carnelians, which are worth 10 gold pieces a piece. I'll stop until Bamir can keep up.
You said there were 10 gold pieces a piece, or 5?
Yes, 5 carnelians worth 10 gold pieces a piece. A piece.
Okay, 10 gold pieces for each peach.
And then there's 2 peridot that are worth 15 gold pieces a piece. A piece.
Peridot?
Damn it! Yes, peridot.
Peridot? What are peridot?
A peridot. Peridot. I believe it's like a brooch.
Yeah.
And then a pearl worth 100 gold pieces.
You said the peridots are 10.
The peridots are 15 gold pieces each.
Oh, sorry.
A peridot,
Carnelians
like
are
a
10.
stone?
Peridots are 15.
And you said 1 pearl worth 100?
Yep.
Okay.
And it also
Mirrors.
contains 2 magic items that Yarno had brought with him from Neverwinter. A scroll of Charm Person and a scroll of Fireball.
Ooh.
If only.
I think the charm person's going to Bamir.
And as Bamir inspected and as Leif inspected the glass staff that you kind of captured, you recognize it as a staff of defense.
Well, actually, Bamir is going to look at this 100 gold piece pearl and look at that staff and then use a spell that he hasn't been able to cast yet, identify on the staff.
Gonna waste a pearl?
And you don't waste it. It's an
Oh, okay.
implement
You just have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
have
he
it.
has to
Yeah.
have it on
I
him
have to
in order
have
be able to
one
I thought it consumed it. All right,
to be able to cast it.
never mind me.
And as you cast this, you kind of start to see that this kind of, you get this image in your head of this staff of defense, and you kind of start to pull details. And it's almost like if you were to kind of see in like a blown out blueprint, right, of what things do. It kind of appears before you and kind of dissolves into pieces, and each of these pieces kind of show you what they do. And it's a slender but hollow staff made of glass, but it's strong as oak. It only weighs 3 pounds, and it is attuned to give itself benefits and to cast its spells. While holding this, you can see that it gives the holder a +1 bonus to AC, and that it has 10 charges, which are used to fuel the spells within it. With the staff in hand, you can see that you can use actions to cast one of the following spells from it. Mage Armor or Shield. The Mage Armor expends 1 charge, and the Shield expends 2 charges. And no components are required to cast those spells from the staff.
You said it holds how many charges?
10. And the staff regains 1d6 plus 4 expended charges each day at dawn. And the kicker is you can tell that if you expend the staff's last charge, then you'll have to roll a d20. If you do a critical fail or a 1, the staff would shatter and be destroyed.
Okay.
Leif is still holding the staff as Amir does this and gives him a look. Anything interesting?
Yeah, that staff is actually quite valuable. It allows you to have protection and also shield yourself from attacks.
I take a brief moment, think of Asteria almost dying twice, and just, does anyone want this? I don't think I need it.
I can use
It's small
them.
for my taste.
I
Yeah, I would
Asteria
suggest
might want one at this point.
All right. I definitely don't want it, so I'm of course gonna say, give it to Asteria. I look at Droop. What do you think, Droop?
And you look at Droop, and for the first time, the party kind of notices Droop standing there in this cloak, and he's very small, almost like you don't notice him, which is kind of a nice perk for him, given the fact that he's a goblin. And with that, Droop kind of goes like this and lifts his hood up so he can see, and sees Yarno kind of stuck against the staff, and he runs over and he kicks him in the balls for 1 damage.
Oh, there, cowboy.
Filthy, nasty bastard. And he gets him.
All right. That's enough. That's enough. True.
And Yarno is basically crushed at this point. He's like, he was not expecting that.
I like the little guy.
I offer Asteria the staff, seeing as no one else wants it. Here you go. This could be helpful.
I look at Leaf and I say, hey, we need to go get those people out of that room now.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna, I guess we'll make our way there, the entire party, along with, Yarno,
Sure.
Yep.
and I'll
as
grab another
you-
cloak off the.
I was just
There
going to
was
say,
like
as you walk through there, you walk into the room, and as you do, the bones of the skeletons start to shake and start to act like they're about to form. And Droop goes, "You're fine," and the bones stop shaking and just drop to the ground.
Do you know how to remove the enchantment off of these bones? He says to Yarno.
And Yarno goes, "It's a bit embarrassing, but okay." And he looks at the bones, and he goes, "Bippity, boppity, boo." And with that, the bones rise, form full skeletons, and then fall lifeless. And you can sense no more arcana from them.
I'm just gonna look at Yarno and say, really?
Well, I read it in a book.
Okay. So, I'll open up, or I'll go to the door,
Leif
And-
casts Shape Water and unfreezes the door and giving back Godoruk his water skin is all of my own.
And I'll open the door, and I'll say, "All clear."
And as you do that, Iarno's gonna look over at Bamir and he's gonna be like, "Oh, like seriously, tell me you would have guessed that. Tell me."
I don't think I don't think a 9-year-old girl would have guessed that.
Thank you.
And then I'll look at Godoruk after I open the door, and I want to pull him aside for a second and say, "Hey, we left their husband like laying out there. Can you go and like you and I'll go ahead of the group, and I'll move the caltrips. I'll pick them up, and then we'll get his body kind of, niced up so that I don't want to cause any like psychological, you know."
Understandable. I pass Yarno off to, I don't know.
I guess
whoever wants
Leif.
him. Leif.
Hello.
All you. And I go with Ashin.
So I'm going to give us a bit of a montage here to move things along. So you move into the cells and you collect a woman and her 2 children. The woman tells you her name is Myrna Dendar, and her 2 kids are named Nars and Nilsa. And they are indeed the wife and children of Thel, who has been killed. So you collect Thel's body, and you find a small cart that the Red Brands have been using to move provisions and things from the front of the manor, which is now cleared of all Red Brands. And as you do so, you kind of wrap his body in some of the cloaks to kind of hide the amount of damage that had been done to him and lay him in the cart. As you do so, Bamir and Leif and Droop and Asteria all kind of make their way back through the main crevice with Myrna, Nars, and Nils, and through the secret passage out to the front of the building to kind of be collected. And as they exit the manor and they see the cart with Thel's body, Myrna immediately begins to tear up again, seeing the body of her husband. And she had not yet told her kids because she was not able to bear the thought herself. And the 2 children look at the cart and they stare at it. And they look at their mother and they look at the party. Is that Dad? And
Which one's
mother-
the boy? Is Nars or
Nars is the boy, Nils is the daughter. And
Can
Nars,
we embellish his death?
Bart?
what do you mean?
Can we offer kind of a story that like he died fighting?
No, because they know that he was taken from the home. Like he was carried off by the Red Brands.
Okay.
He was basically abducted, and then they came back and abducted the family a day later. So they knew that he was just taken, and they didn't have high hopes. And the boy and the girl kind of go, and they go over to their father's corpse and kind of just lay hands on it. Dad, we knew. We were hoping, Dad. We were hoping. You didn't. Oh, you shouldn't have messed with him, Dad, but I know you were just trying to protect us. And Nars especially kind of speaks up, and he kind of lays his head very close to his father's head and goes, Dad, I'll take care of them, Dad. I'll take care of them. I'll work the trade. I'll make sure that Mom and Noosa are taken care of, I promise you. And then he kind of backs up and kind of wipes the tears from his face and the snot from his mouth. And Nilsa still is just kind of sobbing against the cart. And Myrna kind of stands behind him and then looks to the group. And she goes, I've got nothing to offer you as a reward. However, when I was young, I lived in a town called Thunder Tree. It was being overrun by undead at the time, and we had to leave, and that's one of the ways we found our way here. But my family ran an alchemy shop, and you should be able to find some things in there if you're willing to brave it. That should bring you some degree of wealth. I know it's not much, but it's all I can offer you. Thank you for retrieving my husband and saving my children.
Mira, your things is more than enough for us. We've we were we have other means of compensation for this, but we hope that you can find some comfort knowing that your husband can be well buried, and that you and your children are safe.
And with that, she kind of just nods. And then I'm going to say that Godorok, you and Bamir and Leif and you and Godorok and Bamir and Leif, they and Ashin, you kind of pick up the cart, two on each side, and walk the cart down the hill into town. And as you do, it is now kind of late afternoon, I would say, now that you've done all of these things. Not quite evening yet, but late afternoon. And as you pass down this path, you walk by the Sleeping Giant Tavern, which now is a bit quieter. And you can see that there are some red brands standing outside. And they call to you. Oi! What are you doing up there?
I'm going to look at them. And
like, we've got Yarno with us.
yeah, and he's captured. And I'm going to put my hand on Yarno's shoulder, and I'm going to be like, do you really want to do this right now, or do you want to get the heck out of Dodge?
And they had not noticed that you had Iarnu with you because he was kind of between the group. And seeing Iarno, they're all just like, oh shit, we ain't getting paid now. And with that, they all kind of go back in the Sleeping Giant Tavern and shut the door, as if not necessarily interested in in him anymore.
If they start to turn away, Bamir is going to say, we're going to take him into custody, and then we'll be back here. And if any of you are left, we'll deal with you unless you're out of town.
And they kind of look back, and they kind of give you a smirk and just goes, huh. And they walk in to the Sleeping Giant Tavern, and the door shuts. As you continue down the street towards the center of town, you can hear and see people have started whispering and talking, that they can see that you have retrieved Myrna and the kids, because everyone in town was aware that they had been taken, but was too scared to do anything. And by the time that you get to the center of town, you can see that Sildar and Harbin are waiting for you. And Harbin looks up, and Sildar can see from afar, and he kind of starts approaching you, and he goes, what's the meaning of this? Why do you have Yano tied up?
We've got Yarno, or as he made me more colloquially known as the Glass Staff. It seems that your friend has fallen, Seal.
And Sildar's just going to have this look first of shock on his face, and then a look of disbelief and shame. He goes, Iano, you're Glassdog. You did all this? And Iardos is going to pick up his head, and he's fairly beat up, but still just kind of looks at Sildar. I'd say I'm sorry, friend, but I don't think you believe me. I took an opportunity that was too good to refuse. I'm sorry. And Sildar's just going to look at him and say, turn to Harbin. Harbin, you take him to the jails, Harbin. We'll question him later. I can't look at him right now.
Before we let him go, I'm going to pull. I forgot his name already. Wow, that's
Droop?
sad. No, the
Yarno?
Yarno. Yarno, thank you. I'm gonna pull Yarno aside and just kind of whisper in his ear, every bit of pain you caused that family, I'm gonna cause to you, whether I have to do it myself, and then let him go. He does not like him at all.
And with that, there are 2 guards that kind of take the post, and after throwing him on the ground, pick up either side as he's hanging, almost like you would like a meat going to roast a dinner, and they carry them off to the townmaster's hall and escort him to a prison cell. And Harbin, this whole time, is just staring at you in disbelief. He sees you all not looking very bad at all. I mean, Godric's got a little something going on, but largely you aren't the worse for wear as a party. And he just, I don't believe it. What? Did you clear out the manor?
It is clear.
How?
Strength of will.
And
A
he,
measure of cunning and a lot of strength, a wee bit of magic,
And a green dog.
some biting words.
and with that,
Large green
he-
dog.
he's going to walk over closer to you, and he sees Myrna and Narzan Nils, and he goes, Is that Thel? Kind of hangs his head. And Myrna goes, Yes, that's Thel. Not that you did anything to help him. And Harbin just looks her in the face. Goes, I'm so sorry, Myrna. I'm so sorry. I couldn't do anything. And he can barely stand to look at him or to look at them. And Nars just walks over and gets right in his face and says, I'm the man of this family now. And if you ever act in such a spineless way again, I will kill you myself. And then turns away. That bardic inspiration seems to still be kicking.
I'm
It's
gonna-
only supposed to
I'm gonna
last
look
10
at-
minutes.
I'm gonna look at Goderic and I'm gonna say, bar fight?
Bar fight.
I think, Harbin, I think we're going to go take out the rest of the trash.
And Harbin just looks bewildered at this point and not able to take all this in. What has transpired in this town over the past time is basically that the Red Brands have been assembling for quite some time and had only been in Tresendor Manor for a few months, but had been established far longer. And he has been, again, powerless to do anything against them for this period of time and has basically had to accept defeat. And he looks up and looks around, and a good many of the townspeople have come around the center of town now and are all staring directly at you. And Myrna and the boys have kind of gone back kind of off to the side, not wanting to be the center of attention. And really all eyes are just on you and Sildar and Harbin. And Harbin turns to address the town.
Oh.
And he says, People of PHANDALIN, this group here has cleared out Tresendor Manor. The Red Brands no longer occupy it and shall not rule this town anymore. I have failed you. I've been a coward. I've not had the strength to stand up to them. And I do not deserve to be your town master. I'm sorry. But thank these people for freeing us of this menace. And know that we shall be taking the leader, Glassstaff, who is actually one of our own Iano, to Neverwinter for judgment. And he basically just starts slowly walking towards the town master's hall. And in his head, he is...
Can I stop him for a second?
Sure.
Town master.
And he turns...
Why don't you get the rest of your city guard to go with us? Or some of them. And the town can help us get rid of the rest of this group.
Good idea. And he goes back to the town master's hall. And when he comes back, he has a collection of 4 additional guards. So now your number is 9. And again, to save time, not to take away your pleasure, but we got stuff to do and places to go, people to see. You go
10.
into the...
There's Droop.
There is Droop. 10. There's Droop. Who no one notices, by the way, because he is hidden. And probably standing behind Ashin the entire time with his little staff and his little bag. Droop here. And you guys walk down to the sleeping giant. And Harbin knocks on the door. And he goes, Krista, tell these men to come on out. I won't coming in. I don't mean to cause any harm to our establishment, but they need to leave. And with that, you see the front door open up, and a small halfling woman walks out. Harmon, you old goat. Fine. Kick him out. And then she kind of walks away. Obviously
do we get
upset.
Do we get the feeling that she's on their side?
Give me an insight check.
Premier will make that too.
As will I. 20.
You can tell that Grista is angry. she was not fond of the Red Brands, but she was fond of their coin, and being the kind of alternate kind of a business in town, whereas the Stonehill Inn has kind of become the nicer end place. Her place has kind of become run down, and no one was there to help her when the Red Brands came about. So she just kind of became bitter. So she's upset. She's upset that now her money's gone, and she is feeling like no one's going to come and frequent her establishment now that it's been tainted with Red Brands, despite the fact that she's also been taking basically the town's money the entire time.
I look at Bamir, and I want to. I'm going to ask him straight up, like, can we move in here? And I'll ask you too, like, if we kick these guys out of here, can we take the opportunity to maybe take over the sleeping giant?
I think that's very audacious of you.
I don't think that's a conversation we can have here. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Pretty sure
Cool.
that this place still belongs to Krista.
Overreaching a little bit.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it
Okay.
afterwards.
Moving on.
Okay.
Cool.
I have some
Interesting idea.
questions.
Let's talk about it afterwards. And
Sure.
back in. So with that, you can see that about 10 Red Brand ruffians exit this establishment slowly, and they kind of look at you and they keep their weapons sheathed, but they have hands on their weapons. And Harbin looks at them as they've exited, goes, "Take your things, get out of this town. You are not welcome back anymore." And they kind of look at him and they go, "Ugh." And then they look at you guys. And give me an intimidation check.
Ooh. Yay.
Freak.
12
19.
for the entire party.
Yeah, for the party.
20,
19.
22, and Leif lets glowing dark energy go around his hands with Eldritch Blast.
That's a cool thing. Bamir?
He gets a 14.
Can
Mysteria?
I brandish the Nothic head?
19.
Droop. Roll for Droop.
Vamir says, "Get out of town, you errant shard-born maltworms. No one wants your kind here anymore."
And as you say that, they look at you and they kind of scoff, but then they look at the strength of the party between you and the guards and start to think better of starting an altercation. And they kind of make their way through the center of town and out the Miners' Trail at the southwest side of town. And then Harbin, who has kind of helped you now to escort these miscreants out of town, he turns to the guard and says, "I want double watch tonight on this end of town. Make sure they don't come back and cause trouble." And then he makes his way back towards the townmaster's hall, where you guys kind of all sequester. And I'm going to have you guys picturing yourselves in the middle of kind of cramped within the townmaster's hall. All of you are here. Sildar's there, and Yarno is in a cell. Harbin is basically turned over the interrogation to Sildar, and Sildar has been questioning Yarno for about the last 30 minutes. And essentially what is recounted during this interrogation is that Yarno was approached by various agents working within the Lord's Alliance, who he names to Sildar, for Sildar to continue to investigate within the Order, to work for the Black Spider, who is a rumored to be very powerful drow wizard who is doing his damnedest to get into the Wave Echo Cave and gain access to the Forge of Spells of old to make any manner of powerful artifacts and kind of continue his growth in power in the region. And was basically using Glassstaff, or the persona Glassstaff, and the Red Brands to keep the town occupied and out of his hair. So all of the things that have been happening over the past long time, and especially that have intensified in the past few months, have been a way to distract from the activities of the Black Spider. Beyond that, Yarno admits that he was easily corrupted by the idea of having an easier life where he was able to make wealth and have more time to study his craft and become more powerful on his own. And that ultimately was what fueled his decision to side with the Black Spider, in addition to rumors that if he would not cooperate, that it would not end well for him. And being the gutless coward that he ultimately is, valuing his life amongst everything else, he agreed to work and ultimately, was happy to do so. And Sildar, after hearing all this, turns to Harbin and goes, Harbin, I want an armed escort taking Iano to Neverwinter. He must stand trial. We must get this information to the Lord's Alliance proper and root out these traitors to my order. And if you don't mind, Harbin, I want to go with. I don't think that I'll be more use here than I would be escorting him on the road and making sure that he sees justice. And Harbin basically looks at him and kind of looks at the party. And he goes, Harbin, Sildar, you train the guard. I mean, you just got back. We need you here, especially with now that the threat has been expunged. We need to protect the town. How are we going to do that? He kind of looks at you guys. Interested?
Well, we have a lot on our plate right now. We still have to find Gundren and deal with the Kragmar goblins that are plaguing the region. And we're actually still under contract with Gundren, so it's really up to Gundren and Sildar what we do at the moment.
And Sildar turns to you. I do wish, friends, that you would continue to search for Gundren. And he looks back at Harbin and says, Harbin, for a long time now, you have been afraid. For a long time, the people has put their trust in you to protect this town, and you have done nothing. I think it's time that you did something. This town is a wealthy town. I would suggest that you reach out to the various shop owners, keepers of town, the people of this town, and see if they wouldn't be willing to help chip in for its own protection. I mean, we are pretty free settlement here, but I'm pretty sure after finally getting rid of this internal blight that we should be able to come up with something to afford some type of security.
After meeting with some of the townspeople ourselves, you're right that they've been disappointed with your inaction, but the fact that they were disappointed means that they've put their trust in you and that they'd follow you if you gave that order or if you would inspire them to take up arms against these people, they would have gladly joined you. I think that it's clear that the only thing standing in the way of your leadership here is yourself. These people have a lot of respect for you if you would just rise up and take it.
Hmm. And with that, Harbin, give me an insight check on Harbin.
Do it. I got an 8.
So you can tell that Harbin is kind of in his head for a moment. And he answers you. You know, I thought ultimately it would be best for me to step down as town master. I was kind of hoping that it would fall to you, Sildar. You seem far more equipped to do this than I. But you're not wrong. The townspeople have put their faith in me for a long time, and until these red brands came about, I was, dare say, a good leader. Maybe I can be that again. Thank you. Thank you for your words. If you really are not going to be able to stay, and I know you need to find Gundren, perhaps we can work something out.
Leif does chime in briefly. If it helps, with getting resources, Tresendar Manor did have still quite a lot of supplies of weapons, and there was a whole storage room still left in there. So feel free to take all of that. Should help out.
Yeah. We think it probably belonged to
Lion Shield Coster.
yeah, Lion Shield Coster first, but I'm sure if she's written those off already, then she'd be more than willing to help contribute to the town if you would ask her.
Thank you for that information. We'll have to send a party up there to investigate and collect whatever supplies they have left.
And with that, we'll give them can we give them like a general layout of the area so they kind of know where to go, where to avoid?
Sure.
Because
Just give them
trap
the
hole
map.
probably doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, don't we have a map?
Yeah, we can give them the map.
You do have a basically a drawn map, and then also Godorok and Ashin, due to your abilities, you have a much more detailed offering that you're able to supply, and so you give that to Harbin, and basically let him know where that there was a room that appeared to have lots of provisions, and also an armory, and potentially a couple other barracks where they might be able to find some additional supplies, etc. And he takes it.
Did
And
we
he goes,
get? Sorry.
Yep. Go ahead. You get what?
Did we get Yarno's last name?
Aldrich.
Aldrich.
Yeah, the letter was assigned to Lord Aldrich. The letter from the spider.
Yeah.
Or Albrecht. Albrecht. Excuse me. Albrecht. Yes, Albrecht.
How
So
do you
for-
actually spell? How do you actually spell Yarno? Just to
IARNO.
IARNO.
IARNO. Yes. Yano.
Yarno Albrecht.
We're not standing outside anymore, right?
No, you're inside the town, and so after you give that, Sildar basically says, "Thank you for that map. I will take a contingent of the town, and we will go and inspect the manor quickly. And then when I come back in the morning, we will take Iano. You cowardly son of a bitch. We'll take him to Neverwinter and make sure that he stands for justice. With that, I think you guys have earned a good long rest.
Yeah.
I think you go and
We'll
get that.
retire to the inn.
I'm gonna look at the group and say I'm not gonna be in the inn tonight.
You
That's
do
and-
you inn.
Perfectly fine.
All right, and then I'm gonna walk off on my own, and I'm gonna go out towards the town green.
Okay.
I take a look at the party. I think we have a couple things that we could still do. But here, you could always go to Lion Show Coster and collect the 25 gold, and also let them know about the resources entrusted in our manor. And anything else that anyone else needs to do?
I'm pretty sure all that could probably wait until the morning.
There's quite a few things that we could do. There's the Banshee. There's a matter
late in
in
the day
Thunder
now, isn't it?
Tree that we didn't, not right now, but there
Yeah, you sold
are
that
things that
comb.
we could do.
I think if we can just go to bed for tonight and
Yes.
figure all this out in the morning.
It's only
I
late
could-
afternoon.
Is it?
No, it's evening.
Thought
at
it was
this point.
evening.
Oh,
It's evening now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could.
It was
I
late
could
afternoon when
use-
you guys emerged from the manor. After all this has happened, it is now probably closer to 10 p.m. It is late.
Got
in
it.
I
the
could
evening.
use a good meal and some sleep.
While I'm walking out towards the green, maybe I'll look at Asteria and kind of ask her I'll ask her if she wants to come with me for meditation.
Do you want me to come with you? You seem like you
Sure.
wanted to go walking
No,
on your own.
come with me.
Okay. She will go with Machine.
Okay.
Leif.
Godric, what are you going to do?
I'm hungry and I want to sleep and tend to my wounds.
Are you going to go back to the inn or are you going to go out in the woods? What are you going to do?
You gonna go back to the Alderleaf barn?
I'm gonna go back to the Alderleaf barn.
Okay.
And Leif would actually take a detour to the Miners' Exchange to see Halia before going back to Stonehill Inn.
Okay. So let's play all this out, and I'm just going to go in window pane order counterclockwise. So Ashin, we'll start with you. So you and Asteria make your way into the woods for your meditation. Talk me
Oh,
through
right
it.
out into the town green. I don't want. Well, yeah, we'll go into the woods. So I'll go past the town green, like into the edge of Ettermath Orchard, into the apple trees,
Mhm.
and just find kind of like a nice area, and I'll like take my cloak off, and I'll like sit on my knees,
Okay.
and I'll just tell her if she wouldn't mind just watching over me, and then I'll watch over her.
Just
There's a
nod
lot.
and
There's a
Go
lot
with-
I need to think about. And I'll kind of pull my sleeve up so that I can see this scar that's on my wrist. And I'll stare at it and just start meditating.
As you stare into the logo of Shivarish, you start to lose focus of the world around you, and you recall moments from your life that have been quite traumatic to you. You recall moments of being attacked by goblins. You recall moments of your mentor meeting his fate. You remember all of these feelings that kind of have driven you to a point where you focus very much on getting revenge. And as you feel these things, you recall the memories very recently of you driving that knife into the bugbear and how good that felt. And you recall moments of Asteria and her almost dying twice. And as all these things wash over you through meditation, tell me how it is that you find yourself when you wake.
Something has definitely changed.
Has changed within me. Something is not the same.
I've lost so many pieces of what made me recently, because of just how in fear I felt at the thought of losing her, and the thought that if I lose her, then I won't be able to finish my own like quest of avenging the family that I've already lost, avenging the mentor that I lost. Um, I'm sort of at a loss, but focusing on this, what this emblem is and what it means, it kind of serves as to give me a bit of direction. And through my meditation, and through kind of understanding who and what Cheverash was, I'm going to choose the path of the Gloomstalker.
For your level 3 level up. Let's go. So tell me about Gloomstalker.
Sure. So Gloomstalkers are for lack of a better way to really explain it, they're more of a like an ambush type. So they rely a little bit more on stealth. And in the sense that I'm kind of wanting to take Ashin, the Gloomstalker is going to be his way to his path to exacting the vengeance that he feels he should.
Okay.
I get at 3rd level I get Dread Ambusher, which at the first turn of each combat my walking speed increases by 10 feet, and if I take an attack action on that turn, I can make an additional attack, and if that attack hits, the target takes an extra D8 of damage.
So good.
And
Feels
I get
like a quick attack. It's awesome.
and I get a 30-foot extension to my dark vision,
Which puts you up to what, to 90 feet?
90 feet.
Nice.
I think I even get disguise self.
You do.
I do. I get disguise self.
You also get a little bit of that bonus to Unbow Sight too.
He said
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
that's
so he gets the
yeah.
30
I get
feet
the
to his dark
extension.
vision, and then he gets that disguise self.
No, you're invisible to any creature that relies on dark vision to see in dark.
Yes, I am.
That's awesome.
Super awesome.
You are
And I get to
literally
take
an assassin. I love it.
I get to take one extra spell because of becoming level 3, and kind of seeing how things have been going. I'm gonna take Cure Wounds
Oh, okay. All right. So
to
cure
help when
wounds.
it's needed.
So you wrap up with your meditation, and you feel these new abilities kind of deep within you, and you kind of this renewed sense of kind of a darker hatred and need for revenge, to bring closure to these elements that have plagued your past. And Asteria, it's your turn to meditate. And upon your meditation, you also gain your level 3. Tell me
Yay.
about the level 3.
There's not much to my level 3.
It's fine.
But she does gain access to 2nd level spells,
Nice.
and she also gets to attune with a staff now.
Nice. So you are going to attune to the staff, so you'll be able to use the Staff of Defense, which again has 10 charges a day and can do a bunch of awesome things, but mainly either cast a shield or cast mage armor on yourself, which pretty damn neat.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I'm going to make my way back to Mr. Gotaruk. Tell me about what you do when you break off from the party. So you're going to head back to Alderley Farm. And as you approach, what are you going to do?
He's just gonna go in there, kind of tend to his wounds, and
You're not even going to announce yourself? You're just going to walk right into her barn?
I'm just there. I'm not thinking about any of that stuff.
So you just walk straight into the hayloft.
Yeah, loudly, 'cause he's tired and he just wants to sleep. And he has a very interesting dream.
Well, so before you do that, you're going to hear, as you climb up into the loft, you're going to hear little footsteps. And you're going to see this little head pop out of a window looking into the loft, and it's Carp. And he is going to go and run and tell his mom that you're back. And she is going to quietly come and hand you a plate of food for dinner.
I will thank her for that very greedily.
And she's going to ask
Eat it.
you, she's going to say, so you're back. Did it go well? It's only you here. Where's everybody else?
We're taking some nights alone, apparently, but all the Red Brens are dead.
Think tomorrow. I prayed at that shrine today that y'all be fine, and I'm glad you're okay. Here, take this food. We'll just leave you be. And Carp, would you get the hell off of there and go to bed? So I told you. And with that, you're going to hear. And Carp's going to get the hell out of there, and she's going to leave you alone. Goderic, as you lay down to dream, you kind of fall into a deeper sleep. And as you do, you start to see in this dream the perspective of yourself in this field. And as you become more aware of this dream, you can see this field is filled with bodies, and there is an incredible battle happening. There are all manner of creatures. There's elves, there's dwarves, there's orcs, there's humans, there's all races fighting with spears and swords and arrows and pikes and mauls and maces. And as you are seeing all this transpire, you see a javelin come right at you through the air, and you are powerless to move. And just as it's about to hit you, a bear, an enormous brown bear, runs in front of you, and the javelin bounces off the bear. And as you see this bear continue to run right into the heat of the battle, it gets poked with swords, it gets poked with spears, arrows bounce off of it, and nothing is able to pierce its hide. And it just decimates the battlefield as its impenetrable hide keeps it safe from all manners of evil things. And then it looks at you, and it turns. And as it does, it slowly starts to walk towards you, and it picks up speed, running faster and faster and faster. And you're not afraid. You feel comforted by this. You welcome this. And as you do, the bear gets inches from your face, and then you feel the bear wash through your body, and you wake up like that. How do you feel?
I feel like it just inspired me to be able to channel that amount of just pure rage and also defense. And I just feel like I'm a little bit more battle hardened and just ready to take whatever gets thrown at me in the future, and become more like that bear.
And with that, you have reached level 3, my friend. And you have taken the path of the totem warrior. Tell me about that. Tell me about it.
So I can speak with animals now.
Neat.
So that's gonna be great. Really looking forward to that. Um, I also have beast sense, so if I touch a willing beast, um, I can use my action to see through its eyes and hear what it hears, and I can do so until I use an action to return to my normal senses.
That's pretty awesome.
Also, when I am raging, I have resistance to everything except psychic damage.
That's pretty awesome.
And I'm hairy now, hairier than I was before.
You wake up and there's hair in more places.
Yeah.
You're like
I'm just
hairy shoulders and
hairball.
hairy back. You're like, what the hell happened?
Gondoruk hit puberty?
Yeah, no. Very late bloomer for a half orc. That usually happens at like 12. But I also can rage 3 times instead of 2 before a long rest.
Ooh. So we can
Nice.
rage more and we can rage harder. Like a bear.
Like a bear.
That's awesome. All right. And
Major
Astarion,
rager.
you've done your level. Bamir, you walk back to the Stonehill Inn. Leif, are you with him or no? Did you go back
No,
to the tavern as well, or you said you were going to go?
I was gonna walk to Halia or
You
the
were going to watch a Haley's.
Miners
Okay.
Exchange.
All
Yeah.
right. So, Bamir, you walk from the town center to the Stonehill Inn and turn in for the evening. And as you walk in the door, Toblin goes, "Oh, what's going on, friend? Heard the red brands are gone. Congratulations, you did it. Thank you for saving us. Here, we've kept meals ready for you and your crew." And he kind of looks around. Are they not coming?
I think I think we've all kind of gone our separate ways for the evening. I don't know if they're gonna come back here, but I will certainly partake in your wonderful food that you've prepared.
Hey, no worries, no worries. If they show up, they show up, and we'll get them food, we'll get them drink, and we'll make sure there's a warm bed for them. But in the meantime, let's you and me. Let's have a few. And he pulls his special brew that he shared with Ashin out from behind the bar and pours 2 glasses. Anytime surviving an adventure, you've got to have a good brew.
Yeah, sure. And he, he's very polite and clinks glasses and then drinks some, and then, puts his hand under the bar with his glass and slowly pours it out. No, he doesn't do that. No, he'll take a shot with Toblin.
And after that, Toblin has, staff come and bring you a large meal. And there is a very fresh, well-cooked venison that is just on this plate with mashed potatoes intertwined with goat cheese and garlic. And there's also fresh greens on the side. And he pours you a tankard of wonderful ale, the finest that he has, and has it brought to you.
Wow. Bamir is just expresses his gratitude very much, and but he kind of is very introspective because the last few days have really kind of impressed upon him how different the world can be from when you were in school and everything was easy. Getting out into the world has kind of taught him that not everything he learned was useless after all. So he kind of takes his drink and food and finds himself thinking about his days in school, and he remembers a letter that his professor gave him before they left. And when he retires for the night, he decides to pull it out, and on the envelope it says, "Open this when you've come to understand the meaning of your education." So he opens up the envelope and pulls out a couple of pieces of paper and opens up the first one. It says, "Dear Bamir, if you have opened this, it's because you've come to understand the value of some of the things that you have learned during your time here. We know that the information that you gain during your time in college doesn't always sink in until you start to make your way in the world. However, as experience grows, your mind will find new paths and open new doors for both understanding and magical aptitude. Should you reflect on your lessons, you'll find that new power should be available to you. Bards of the College of Lore are those that have an aptitude for spells and skills alike. Your aptitude and knowledge that you should be coming into now make you well qualified to become a member of this college. I know that you have business that will keep you away for now, so I have enclosed here your letter of membership in the College of Lore. Make sure to come by next time you're in Waterdeep so I can graduate in person, but until then I wish you success in your quest. Your friend and professor, Laughlin." And so Bamir looks at the letter that's enclosed that shows he's a part of the College of Lore and just takes some time to reflect on his college days and some of the things that Laughlin taught him, and spends the night nursing the rest of his ale and getting some much needed sleep, and wakes up finding himself deeper in knowledge and experience.
Nice. So for your third level, you have been accepted into the College of Lore. Tell me about that.
So, as a graduate of the College of Lore, he gains new skills that, or he has unlocked new skills that he before was not proficient in, but thanks to his learning, he has been able to unlock the secrets of, namely Arcana investigation, I think, and what was the third one? Another skill.
Acrobatics.
It's I think it was investigation. Yeah, investigation.
That's awesome.
But he also has gained deeper knowledge in deception and persuasion, as his proficiency bonus gets doubled in those two skills.
That's
Dope.
insane.
He also has awakened 2 second level spells and can now cast Shatter, which is a second level bard spell that we will hopefully see sometime in the near future.
Awesome. I can't wait. So good. All right. Newfound knowledge coming from our bard, as well as some additional proficiency. Master of everything. And that brings us to Leif. So Leif, as you left the party, even though it was late, you felt the need to go in and touch base with Halia. You checked by the miners' exchange. And even though it was open, she was not there. They told you that she had retired for the evening. So her home, is kind of behind the exchange. So you make your way there, and you knock on the door, and she opens the door. Hello, hello, Leif. Yes. What can I do for you?
Sorry to disturb you, but we finished our orders at Trustendar Manor, and I have all the information I figured you might want tonight. This would be the best time to give it to you.
Oh, yes, yes. What did you find anything important?
I reach into my clothes and pull out the correspondence for Spider, and I start to relay all the things that were talked about.
Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. I will definitely keep this in mind, and if I have further information that I need from you, I will be sure to let you know. You've done the Zentarum a good service. Definitely looking for the Wave Echo Cave. We knew that he wanted the cave, but Black Spider being... Do you know anything else about this Black Spider that I should be aware of?
Not particularly. There was the Iarno and Bugbear. They had about as much knowledge as what I gave you. It's just outside of the letter here with his symbol, the Black Spider, all I know is he's a drow. He's looking toward the Wave Echo Caves for looks like power of some sort.
Forge of Spells. Well, I can only say thank you and impart to you that what you've done today is a great service to the Zentarum, an amazing service to the Zentarum. Come by the Miners' Exchange tomorrow, and I will give your party your gold.
Thank you very much, and just let me know if anything happens.
Of course. And she gives you the Zentarum symbol as you depart.
On the way back, I get back to the inn, and obviously don't see the mirror down there any longer, I don't think, by this point.
And Toblin is once again going to greet you. Yes. Master Elf, come here. We've got food for you, we've got drink for you, and your room is all ready. It's been tidied up, and everything should be to your liking. If you need anything, you just let me know.
Thank you very much, sir. And I sit down and eat a little in thought, and then afterwards I go back up to my room and briefly pour over the notes that Yarno's of all his work. And after going through this, it doesn't really help me too much in the way of other ideas, but it does kind of make me think of what transpired over the night, changing, getting to use that more effectively, and other things that we've done while at the Goblin Cave. And I think I've got an idea of how to create a little bit more trickery. And I've learned how to do silent image.
Very interesting. And that is going to be your third level, but your second level of sorcerer.
Second level in sorcerer and still first level warlock.
Okay. Very cool. As the party awakes the next day, you agreed to meet back in town center at some point after sunrise. And as you do, we call it there for an evening. And we'll pick it up next time.